And going to the 55-plus plan saved us so much money.
A lot.
And that's important, trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, ta-da! If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it.
Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet rely on 2 lines of Essentials Choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
It's bow time. Ordering Bojangles Bow Bites is the easiest choice you'll make today. The bite-sized hand-breaded chicken is fried to crispy perfection, making it perfect for sharing, snacking, or when you're on the go. Just don't call it a nugget. The only hard part is choosing from our 6 dipping sauces. We've got a sauce for every kind of craving, from our creamy house-made ranch to our sweet and spicy peach honey pepper sauce. It all depends on what kind of mood you're in. Head to your nearest Bojangles today and discover the dippable, shareable, and craveable Bow Bites. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to head on over to Bojangles to try Bojangles' new Bow Bites. Bite-sized, hand-breaded chicken fried to crispy perfection. On the go, they're perfect for snacking or sharing. Dipped in your favorite sauce like creamy house-made ranch or peach honey pepper, they're the perfect way to satisfy your craving for flavor and value. Try Bojangles' new Bow Bites. It's an easy choice to make when it's bow time.
Stay informed with The Rundown, the daily newsletter from High School OT that delivers high school sports news and insights straight to your inbox. Brought to you by High School OT and powered by our sponsors Lake Orthopedics, First Carolina Bank, and Smith Douglas Homes. Subscribe to The Rundown at highschoolot.com.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Getting hurt in a car wreck comes with all kinds of stress and frustration. But when you call me, I'll be on top of all of it. So all you need to worry about is getting better. If you've been injured in a car wreck, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Eagle Leasing Storage Studio. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Canes light the lamp here.
I'm meteorologist Grant Skinner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. With high pressure in place, we'll stay dry today, but it will be very hot this afternoon with highs reaching to around 100. It will be even hotter into our Friday and Saturday, highs climbing to the low to mid 100s. A few showers and storms Friday and Saturday.
3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones up 365 points today to 52,670.
Flicks it along Tim, and he's got Balogun making a run off him. Can he get around to that ball? To the deflection, Balogun scores! Full Balogun, first to react to the deflection. He'll do the LeBron celebration.
The number 20 United States committee serious foul.
Yeah, it's going to be a red card.
Final decision is red card.
Tillman! Malik Tillman! 2-0 United States!
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
It's The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Dennis Cox in for Tim Donnelly. Max Scoren producing the show. Last show of the week. We're leading it right into the holiday weekend, folks. Stay cool out there. Best advice I can give you. Stay cool out there. But Max, there's lots to discuss. Let's get this sucker started. Let's get to the big 3 at 3.
Number 1.
The big 3 at 3 brought to you by Maynard Service Company. Heating, cooling, plumbing, electric. You need it. Contact Maynor Service Company. Again, Maynor Services, MAYNOR Service.com. Especially on the heating and cooling aspect of things. It's hot out there, folks. You know what's not hot right now? NHL free agency. You know what's happening today, Max? In the NHL world? Nothing. Basically nothing. Alexander Ovechkin's going to be playing one more season with the Washington Capitals. Good for Alex. Good for him. There's like a minor trade between Calgary and Minnesota. It's like, all right, a couple like third line forwards and like a third pair of defensemen get moved. There's a Eric Gabranson re-signed with the Columbus Blue Jackets, a fourth line. That's it. That's all that's happened today. Now, we did get the news last night, though, Max. We did get a couple things that were Canes related last night. For example, Frederik Andersen, Stanley Cup winning goaltender, signed a one-year deal with the Edmonton Oilers, actually. The Edmonton Oilers. Good for Freddie. It's an incentive-laden deal. He's got 1 year contract, $1 million base salary and all that stuff, and then it's about, I can't remember, I think in total value it could be about $2.8 million if I remember correctly. So a lot of it's incentive-laden. Plays, like 10 games, he gets $600,000, plays 20 games, he gets another $400K, and then there's another potentially $800,000 for every round of the playoffs that Edmonton advances, and if he plays in 50% of those games. So that's Frederik Andersen, no longer a Carolina Hurricane. And then there's John Carlson, whom the Carolina Hurricanes traded for at the NHL draft this past Saturday. They traded for his rights. They traded the 192nd pick. They also traded a prospect that plays in the ECHL and Kyle Masters, whom they traded back for Noah Philp. And then guess what? So they traded the 192nd pick from this past draft for the chance to try and sign John Carlson before free agency actually hit. Well, Carolina wasn't able to get that deal done, which is fine. John Carlson signed a 2-year deal with the Tampa Bay Lightning, $8.5 million per year. Okay. One more on this at 3:15, by the way, because earlier this week, just a couple days ago, Max, we talked about if John Carlson doesn't sign with Carolina, what are Carolina's options? We gave 3 different things. We did that earlier this week. Okay, we're going to revisit that here in about 10 minutes. Let's take a look at those 3 options if they did not reach a deal with John Carlson. We'll discuss that here a little bit. But otherwise, Max, nothing's happening.
Actually, I do have an update.
Oh, go on.
What's happening right now? This is live developing right here.
Oh, okay.
That's the live update from NHL free agency.
That's it. That's all that's happening right now. It's a weak class because all the best players got signed or traded before free agency actually began. So the class is weak. It's mostly third and fourth line forwards, mostly second and third pair defensemen, backup level goaltenders for the most part. Again, for the most part. So yeah. Nothing new on the Alexander Nikisha front. Again, we'll talk about that in 10 minutes. That's number 1 on the Big 3 at 3. Let's get to number 2.
Number 2.
How about that win last night? Team USA, 2-0 over Bosnia-Herzegovina. 2-0. Playing max. They played 35 minutes down a player. Bosnia had a power play for 35 minutes. U.S. went full Canes. We're getting that shorty. Getting that shorty goal. Exactly. That Malik Tillman free kick that made it 2-0 was beautiful.
Yeah, I did not think they were going to get a good look on goal from that, and then he scored it. Didn't have the most pace on it, but well-placed enough and had enough. Got the goalie maybe sleeping a little bit on the other side, a little out of position, and extended the lead with a man down, which was huge after that kind of questionable red card, I would say, to Folarin Balogun?
Yes, Flo Balogun. Let's get into that. So right around the 65th minute or so yesterday, Max, there's an injury on the field. Flo Balogun's down on the field. He's a little bit nicked up. A guy for Bosnia is a little bit nicked up at the same time. So play stops. Both guys are getting tended to on the field. Like, legit, like, looking after injuries, not like the whole floppy thing that we see oftentimes. But the guy for Bosnia was stepped on by Flo Balogun, like on the inside of his right ankle. Ankle rolls up pretty good. All right, it's kind of looking like, okay, it might be a little ankle sprain, something along those lines. You obviously hope that nothing is broken. But video assisted review, VAR, decided to call down to the official, to the head referee, and said, hey, take a look at this. There might be more than just the foul that you called. This might be a card situation. Now, Max, from my understanding, if you're reviewing for a card or reviewed for a potential red card, either you issue the red card or you issue no card at all. Is that how it works? Or could the official actually issue a yellow card in that situation?
Truthfully, I don't know. I'm pretty sure he could.
Either.
I'm pretty sure he could. It could be a yellow card because I remember in the U.S.'s first group stage game there was like a call originally against Tim Ream, and it ended up being a yellow card on the Paraguayan player because of effectively because it was a dive. So I think they can give out yellow cards based on those reviews.
Okay.
Even if it's not a red card in that decision, like just have it be a standard foul with no booking. I mean, in the flow of the game, I don't think that nearly would have like justified a red card.
No,
like, it's incidental contact at best. Irresponsible, but not like dangerous.
I don't think it was anything egregious. My fiance and I were watching the game last night, when I said, watch the play, I'm like, okay, like, yellow card, perfectly justifiable. Yellow card in that situation, and it should have been a yellow card in that situation. And this is where I wish officials would have a true understanding of the magnitude and knowing that if you issue this person a red card for a foul, that not only are you ejecting them from this game, but they have to miss the entire next one as well. Like, there's a lot of weight to a red card besides the game that you are currently playing in. So the red card, again, Balogun ejected from the game, and he has to sit out the next game as well. Like, so it automatically comes with a one-game suspension built in. So as an official, you have to understand the stakes of what you're doing as well. It can't be like, oh, you know what? It's a pretty hard foul. You're out for the rest of the game, because it's more than just that. And to me, the foul wasn't egregious enough to warrant red card. To me, yellow card, keep it moving. Especially since there were some situations early on in the game where I felt like there were some fouls or contiguous fouls that we saw from Bosnia, grabbing guys and pulling guys down. I remember it was in the first half, Max, when Christian Pulisic's going down the left sideline with the ball and just gets straight dragged down from the shoulder. And they call it a foul, and Pulisic sitting there looking up like, no card? I'm like, it was a pretty blatant thing. I'm like, eventually you got to start booking those kinds of plays too, but the official never did. Then all of a sudden, here comes a red card after review, which by the way, the official himself never actually even called for a foul or called to book a player in that situation in the first place. He just straight called a foul. It was the VAR assistant official that said, look at this. It's unfortunate because Balogun is their best striker, probably, especially with Pulisic still kind of coming back from the injury. You can tell he was gassed late in the game, but his scoring touch is noticeable.
He's a clinical finish, and yes, you can give out a yellow card. So in the process, what they did, they were checking for a straight red on the review, and then that can be downgraded to a yellow card for a reckless challenge. So he could have given out a yellow, which I think would have been more than appropriate for the play, considering it looks like he's just trying to turn to play the ball. Obviously gets caught up, maybe a little irresponsible with the placement of the cleat there to hit the guy on the ankle. But red card is just brutal, not just for the last 30 minutes of that game, but really to take a player out for the next knockout stage game, and a player that's as impactful as Folarin Balogun. It's like, why are we hosting this thing for? Isn't it supposed to be rigged in our favor? Isn't that how it worked in 2002 with South Korea? We can't get that call. So
I mean, here's the thing. Here's what they should do, Max. Here, real quick. I know we got to get to number 3. You know what they should do? Pull an NCAA move. Sue FIFA. Get a temporary restraining order so Balogun can play.
There are people unironically suggesting that.
You know what? Do it. Go the college route here. Go the college route. Sue. Get the temporary restraining order. Get that injunction. Whatever it is. Balogun plays on Monday. All right, that's number 2. Let's quickly get to number 3.
Number 3.
Speaking of reckless and irresponsible, the Boston Celtics traded Jaylen Brown to the Philadelphia 76ers for Paul George and, a bunch of picks. Cool.
Not very good picks either.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, you traded a couple firsts and a couple seconds. I'm like, you traded Jaylen Brown to the Sixers? One of your rivals in your division? Like, I'm sorry, like, this is a good move. This actually happened, Max, yesterday right after we got off air. And as soon as I thought, I was like, well, you gave up Paul George to get Jaylen Brown? Great move by Philly. Great move by Philadelphia 76ers, in my opinion. VJ Edgecombe, Tyrese Maxey, Jaylen Brown, and then if he decides to play, if he feels like he's healthy enough, the big man for the Sixers. I don't know what Celtics were doing. Like, Paul George is going to play, 50 games, maybe? And you still have Jason Tatum coming off injury. I don't see how that benefits the Boston Celtics. I see why it benefits the Philadelphia 76ers. Again, question if Joel Embiid wants to play or not in terms of his health. But I don't know. Max, saw that happen yesterday. I was like, wait, Philadelphia walks out this looking amazing.
Oh, yeah.
It's just great move by the Philadelphia 76ers.
It broke right as we were about to leave here yesterday afternoon. I was walking out. I was like, oh, my goodness. Like, is this right?
Yeah, it's
Paul
one of those things
George
like, wait,
and a
hold
couple
on.
picks for Jaylen Brown after all the hype about how they wanted 4 firsts or something along that lines. Like, I don't know what Boston's doing. I don't know what their plan is.
I don't either.
It doesn't make a lot of sense. And meanwhile, Philadelphia looks like one of the favorites in the East now, to me at least. I mean, their bench definitely needs to keep getting shored up, but they just signed Anthony Simons today, too, to help with that. So, I mean, they're looking pretty good coming out of this thing with Jaylen Brown added to their starting 5.
It's a wild time. That's the Big 3 at 3 presented by Maynard Service Company. Coming up here in 2 minutes, the NHL hasn't really done a whole lot. And one thing that didn't happen that some Canes fans and people around that cover the team were anticipating possibly happen was, were the Carolina Hurricanes going to sign John Carlson? We know that didn't happen. He signed with Tampa Bay. Earlier this week, just a couple of days ago, I said if the Canes weren't able to sign John Carlson, I said there were 3 other options they could do on defense if they did not sign John Carlson. Okay, John Carlson's not a Carolina Hurricane. Let's go revisit those 3 things next.
It's not Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's Tuesday. The very first Tuesday.
New scratch-off tickets are available on the first Tuesday of every month.
Announcer said first Tuesday.
Brand new scratch-offs, brand new fun. Now from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Every first Tuesday. Must be 18 to play. Problem Gambling Helpline, 877-718-5543.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you can choose the best coverage option for you. Because you know you. Like, you know that hiking isn't for you. Sure, it sounds nice to be in nature while exercising, but that's what a gym and houseplants are for. I mean, you don't even like walking upstairs. So why would you walk up a hill for miles? To what, end up high in the air? Come on, you know you're scared of heights. Only you know you. So get coverage options within your budget with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
At Wake Orthopedics Urgent Care, we spend days, nights, and weekends in 3 convenient locations providing specialized care for kids and adults. Sprains and strains, shoulders and knees, fractures, hammies, and more. All that and all without an appointment. Walk in or limp in, either way you'll get the care you need whenever you need it. Visit us today at wakemed.org.
Accidents happen. And they can happen at any age. That's why Chapel Hill Family and Cosmetic Dentistry provides complete everyday dental care for your entire family, from the littlest athlete to adults ready for a healthier, more confident smile.
Oh, nice.
Dr. James Ferguson and his team are here for everything from routine care and cleanings to advanced treatments, so everyone can enjoy a strong, healthy smile. Schedule your visit today at chapelhilldds.com.
Ehlers, he'll get it to Jarvis. Carolina gets in. Aho, back for Andersen. They score! A power play goal! A 99-mile-an-hour rocket by Alexander Nikishin. And his 8th of the year has Carolina within 1.
So Alexander Nikishin is still a Carolina Hurricane. I know a lot of people are wondering, are they going to get rid of him? Are they going to trade him for something? But nothing's happened yet. It's the Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Dennis Cox in for Tim Donnelly this afternoon. Max Gorin producing the show. So earlier this week, we discussed what were 3 different options for the Carolina Hurricanes if they were not able to sign defenseman John Carlson. To remind people, in case you maybe forgot, maybe you're just tuning in for the first time this week. Maybe you're heading out on the road to go enjoy your 4th of July vacation. The Carolina Hurricanes traded for the rights of pending free agent defenseman John Carlson from the Anaheim Ducks. Right-handed defenseman, 36 years old, played pretty much his entire career with the Washington Capitals before being traded to Anaheim back in March at the trade deadline. Won a Stanley Cup with the Capitals back in 2018. 60 points last season. Still a phenomenal player. And right-handed defenseman can quarterback your power play. They traded for his rights back on Saturday. They used the 192nd pick in Saturday's draft, literally the last pick in the 6th round. They traded that along with a prospect that Canes will never step on NHL ice for the chance to sign John Carlson early before hitting free agency when free agency began yesterday at noon Eastern. So they weren't able to get a deal done by the time free agency began. He wasn't signed immediately by any other team. He actually didn't sign until late last night, John Carlson, with the Tampa Bay Lightning on a 2-year deal at $8.5 million per year. 8.5 average annual value, $8.5 million. So earlier this week, we discussed if Carolina was not able to sign John Carlson, here were 3 other options. The other 3 options were they could continue to pursue a trade for Zach Werenski, the defenseman from the Columbus Blue Jackets, who just won the Norris Trophy for best defenseman in the NHL. They could trade Alexander Nikishin and possibly either get a player like a defenseman back as part of that deal along with other assets, or promote from within to replace Alexander Nikishin's spot, or option number 3, they could just keep Alexander Nikishin. So those were the 3 options. So let's explore those things one at a time. First, a Zach Werenski trade, or potentially a Zach Werenski trade. This door seems to have been closed and deadbolted shut. Both Zach Werenski, the player for Columbus, and the general manager of the Columbus Blue Jackets, Don Waddell, formerly of the Carolina Hurricanes, both issued statements late yesterday afternoon essentially saying, we're in this thing together. Zach Werenski saying, I want to be in Columbus, I want to win here, and Don Waddell, the general manager, saying, we believe in Zach Werenski, he's one of us. So that first option, so basically it shut the door on Columbus trading Zach Werenski, which, by the way, Zach Werenski has a full no-move clause. So if Columbus wanted to trade him, Zach Werenski would have to approve it. Apparently, earlier this week, he actually shot down a trade to the Dallas Stars, staying in Columbus. Okay, so that's first option. That door seems to be shut, shuttered, bolted, all that kind of stuff. So the second option is the Carolina Hurricanes could trade Alexander Nikishin. There are a lot of teams apparently out there that are interested in a player like him, which makes sense, right? Alexander Nikishin fits a certain physical profile with his size, skating ability, his shooting prowess. He does have the offensive upside. He's 24 years old. guys like that don't grow on trees. So they could trade Alexander Nikishin, get a player back, whether that's a forward that they really like, could also be a defenseman that they also like as well, while also gathering other assets that they could potentially use for future player acquisition, whether that's picks, other prospects, things along those lines. So they could trade Alexander Nikishin, get a player back in that trade that they can insert into the lineup, or they could promote from within. They could potentially use a guy like Charles Alexis Legault, right-handed defenseman. Nikishin's a left-handed defenseman. Charles Alexis Legault, right-handed, not a small guy either, around 6'3", 215 pounds, 220 pounds. Isn't afraid to use his physical gifts in terms of he ain't afraid to shed the mitts and drop the gloves to fight somebody. He's not afraid to use his body to lean into people. And then also you have a player like Joel Nyström, who, by the way, not the biggest guy in the world, but can skate really well, moves the puck really well, and shown in playing in 38 games this past season, he can hold his own. So that is certainly an option as well. One thing to take into consideration possibly for Carolina about the potential Alexander Nikishin trade of all this. Carolina does have a couple of players on their blue line that are eligible for contract extensions. And one name that sticks out to me as a player that could possibly be extended at any point, the news could drop here in the next 10 minutes for all we know, is that Carolina Hurricanes could sign Jaylen Chatfield to a contract extension. Chatfield just turned 30 years old. He's going into the final year of his contract where he makes $3 million a year. If Carolina wanted to extend him, so he'll play his age 30 season, if you want to have him for ages 31, 32, 33, and 34, which fits the profile of a lot of contracts they have on the team where they have guys signed through their age 34 season. You could sign Jaylen Chatfield to a 4-year contract extension at $5 million, $5.5 million. Well, then now my top 4 is locked up for the next 3 years at minimum because Sean Walker has 3 years left on his deal. Jacob Slavin, Keandre Miller, both have 7 years left on their deal. Well, if you extend Jaylen Chatfield, well, my top 4 is set. My top 4 defensemen is set. Like they're set. So now there comes a question of, do you want to pay an Alexander Nikishin top money to be a third pair defenseman? Hence why a trade is possible. So that's the second option. As we continue to discuss what Carolina can do on their blue line here on the Drive with Tim Donnelly. Dennis Cox in for Tim Donnelly. Max Scoren producing the show. So the first option, after not being able to sign John Carlson, we talked about earlier this week, was you could still potentially trade for Zach Werenski. That door appears to be closed. Second is you could trade Alexander Nikishin, get a player back and other assets as well, and potentially promote from within. The third one is you could just sign Alexander Nikishin and just keep him around. You did because he's a restricted free agent. The Carolina Hurricanes did extend him a qualifying offer as a restricted free agent. So if Carolina is unable to agree to terms on a contract extension with him, or if they're unable to potentially trade him, well, then he plays on the 1-year qualifying offer this upcoming season. And guess what? You just run it back. Carolina doesn't have to do anything. They don't. They don't have to do a thing. Carolina, if they wanted to, could have Alexander Nikishin play on the qualifying offer, which I don't think they want to do. I don't think they want to do that. But you could, in theory, have Nikishin play on a qualifying offer. You can re-sign Mike Riley as your 7th defenseman once again. Just be like, hey, man, 1 year, want to run it back, same price point? Because you have all 14 of your forwards back from last season. You can run it back with the same 7 defensemen. Again, if you brought back Mike Riley. And you have Kochetkov and Brandon Bussey in net from a team that just won a Stanley Cup. Max, I'm wearing my Stanley Cup champion t-shirt. There's a graphic behind me here on the screen that says 2026 Stanley Cup champs. You could just run it back.
Yeah.
That's an option.
It'll definitely still be a super competitive team if you just run back the same roster. Now, the counter argument is, other teams in theory are getting better.
Yes.
Florida Panthers will be healthy this season. Barkov will be back. They just traded for Brady Tkachuk. They're bringing back, the old crew with Radko Gudas coming back into the fold. Other teams around the East making moves. Washington really shored up their forward core. So the question is, do you trust your roster to run it back and still have that same level of success against an Eastern Conference that's getting stronger? I think they still hold up just fine. Those other teams may have improved, but Washington missed the playoffs last year, and
that they did.
Florida. The question is going to be if they can match the physicality of Florida, and it's really almost with them. It's almost a mental thing, or that's what it seemed like seeing them match up in the playoffs. But one of those new additions, Brady Tkachuk, well, they just dominated him and his team in the first round of the playoffs. So that addition shouldn't, in theory, really scare Carolina in terms of potentially matching up like, oh, they've added this guy. Well, we held him to 0 points over 4 games and swept his team. So,
Jordan Stahl punched him in the face. No, that's fine. So I'm not worried about that.
Not too scary.
I'm not worried about that. I mean, also, like, who's going to stop pucks for them? For Florida? Like, they're goaltending this upcoming season. Good luck. Good luck with that. So, again, other teams around you, yes, you have to anticipate they're getting better. Not saying that Carolina should be complacent. But there isn't, and this is also a testament and a credit to Eric Tulsky and what they've done the last couple of years to put themselves in this position where last offseason they locked up Jackson Blake and Logan Stankoven. A couple years before that, they locked up long-term Andrei Svechnikov. They locked up long-term Jacob Slavin. They locked up long-term Seth Jarvis. Like they've got all, and then so really last offseason the only thing you had to do was you traded for Keandre Miller, sign and trade with the Rangers, and you signed Nikolai Ehlers to a long-term deal. So now you're in a position where you don't have to do anything. It's a luxury that a lot of other teams just simply don't have. I mean, the team that lost a couple years ago in the Stanley Cup Final, in the Edmonton Oilers, for example, they weren't able to keep everybody. Like, their roster got worse after getting to a Cup Final back-to-back years. It got worse. They're sitting there trying to scramble, try and do whatever they can to try and even get back. They get knocked out in the first round last year. Carolina's like, yo, we just won this damn thing, and see you guys back in September. Again, with the exception of Frederik Andersen, which I think they were prepared for that anyway. So, yeah, they don't have to do anything. They can just keep Alexander Nikishin. That is an option, too. Now the question becomes, what is his long-term projection with the team and how much you're willing to pay? Because if I'm Alexander Nikishin's camp, I'm asking for a lot, especially when I see some of the deals that were been doled out the last couple of days. I'm asking for a lot. The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Dennis Cox in for Tim Donnelly this afternoon. Max Gorin producing the show. Team USA won last night. USA. They won last night. But before we get to that conversation, Max, we got to give some love to the college athletes of the world. Dean's List, next.
Hey, it's Tim Donnelly here for Bailey's Fine Jewelry. We have a holiday coming up. You know what you should do? Make sure when you walk into that family gathering, you have a statement on your wrist. We're talking luxury timepieces. And if you're going to be out splashing around in the water, think about a dive watch. Maybe a Blancpain 50 Fathoms, the granddaddy of all modern dive watches. Of course, there's pre-owned and vintage Rolex in that category. There's Omegas in that category. My point is, whatever kind of watch you want on your wrist this holiday, you can get it at Bailey's Fine Jewelry, specifically the Village District location in Raleigh, which is the location that includes the Fox & Bailey Watch Shop as well as the Omega Boutique. So stop in, check them out. It's all at Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location in Raleigh, where they have every single watch from your wildest dreams. Just let them know you heard about it from me, Tim, right here on 99.9 The Fan.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-330-8323 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-330-8323. That's 800-330-8323. What do you have to lose? Call 800-330-8323. Again, 800-330-8323.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses, or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code FUTURE to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code FUTURE to borrow up to $10,000. Use code FUTURE to borrow up to $10,000.
Max, to build off a name that you just mentioned, Brady Tkachuk, who's now with the Florida Panthers after previously being with the Ottawa Senators. This just came across my timeline, and this is the kind of level of petty that I appreciate. So this is from the official Ottawa Senators account. They posted a graphic on Twitter, on X, their official account, that said, "Chuck out the old jersey." Chuck, just CHUK, like as in Brady Tkachuk. So you can trade in your Fanatics Brady Tkachuk jersey and save 40% on the whatever it is, like on regularly priced merch. So again, they're doing this at Canadian Tire Center where they play in Ottawa. So from July 3rd through July 7th, the Senators, you can trade in your officially licensed Fanatics Brady Tkachuk stitched jersey and save 40% on regularly priced merch. And they're calling "Chuck out the old jersey." It's the kind of pettiness. That's the kind of pettiness I'm here for, Max. It's the kind of pettiness I'm here for. I need more of this kind of stuff. I need more of this. Someone demands that they want out. Okay, fine. We'll troll you. That is perfectly acceptable. Perfectly acceptable. I respect Ottawa for this. I respect it. It's The Drop with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Dennis Cox in for Tim Donnelly this afternoon. Max Gorin producing the show. A few minutes here, Max, before we talk Team USA. Let's hit the Dean's List. All right, Max, first things first. On the Dean's List, I'm going to put Henry Vesar. Henry Vesar, the second-round pick of the Atlanta Hawks, officially signed his contract with the Atlanta Hawks. Not a two-way deal, which often happens with second-round picks. Full normal NBA contract, 4-year deal for Henry Vesar. So congrats to Henry Vesar signing his deal. Speaking of UNC basketball, Also on the Dean's List, I'm going to throw on Angelo Brizzi. That's right, Brizzi. Brizzi. Angelo Brizzi, according to Inside Carolina, from the transfer portal from Buffalo to UNC basketball, playing for Michael Malone. At Buffalo, Brizzi last year averaged 14.5 points and 2.8 rebounds per game last season. Now, this is also his 5th school max. Started at Villanova, spent some time at Longwood as well, Buffalo eventually, then now to the University of North Carolina. Now, this is pretty late in the process, by the way. Getting enrolled at UNC and have to go again for summer workouts and all those kinds of things. But Angelo Brizzi on the Dean's List. Max, you have anyone you want to throw on the Dean's List? Anyone getting gold stars?
Not particularly.
No,
that's just not a ton going on in the college world. And I was seeking it out earlier too, but just not a whole lot of action in terms of college sports here in early July. We are 8 weeks away from Week 0. I don't know if you mentioned that already, but Week 0, or at least from Saturday anyway. 8 weeks until Carolina takes on TCU over there that game's in Ireland, right?
That's right.
And then NC State takes on Virginia in Charlottesville, not Rio.
Game that was supposed to be in Brazil, but instead. So, yes, on the Dean's List, I was next one up, Max, was 8 weeks away from Week 0. So, 8 weeks from this Saturday, which is the 4th of July, just count 8 more Saturdays, and you have college football. And college football, as you mentioned, 2 teams from right here in the state of North Carolina, 2 teams from right here in the Triangle being involved on that opening weekend of college football, that Week 0 game.
The games are staggered, too. Carolina, I think, will be at noon, and then NC State will be at 3:30 that week. So
perfect.
Just rolls one right into another.
It's perfect. Did you know that from yesterday? No, actually, I'm sorry, today, because it's a Thursday, that 5 weeks from today, the Carolina Panthers kick off the Hall of Fame game, August 6th, 5 weeks from today. Like, football's right around the corner, folks. And believe it or not, in 2 weeks, Wednesday the 15th, Thursday the 16th, Friday the 17th, we will be in Charlotte for ACC football kickoff. ACC football media days are in 2 weeks. So we actually already have lined up a few interviews already with Duke and Wake and so on. We've already been in contact with Carolina and NC State about getting players and coaches and that kind of sort on. 2 weeks, folks. We're going to be previewing the college football season in Charlotte with the ACC. The commissioner speaks to the media and all that kind of stuff, gives a state of the ACC address. Max 2 weeks. So yeah, if you're craving football, right around the corner, folks. You ain't got to wait that long. Until then, watch the football. That's gonna do it for the Dean's List. Going to dismiss the Dean's List here. Speaking of soccer's biggest stage, we have some games that are taking place right now. By the way, coverage of soccer's biggest event is presented by Wake Orthopedics and the North Carolina Courage. Right now, we have Spain taking on Austria. Spain in the 40th minute is up 1-0 already. Also, a couple matches that are coming up later on today. Portugal versus Croatia. And then late tonight, Switzerland takes on Algeria. So, again, we are in the round of 32. Knockout stages. So, again, Spain's up 1-0 on Austria. Portugal up 1-0 on Portugal takes on Croatia later on tonight. And Switzerland takes on Algeria. Max, United States had a big win yesterday. Big 2-0 win. How exciting was it for us as Americans to watch that game? But before we have that conversation, Dennis Cox here real quick for my good friends over at Law Tigers. Folks, we all know if you've stepped outside today, and we all know with the holiday weekend and everything coming up, We have this heat dome that's just hovering over us here in the Triangle, just in the state of North Carolina. Just be safe when you're outside, whether you're having a cookout, whether you're just walking the dog, just doing stuff outside. Be safe, be smart out there in the heat. And the same thing applies when you are a motorcycle rider, because guess what? As a motorcycle rider, you don't have four walls around you to keep you air conditioned or like inside your car. You don't have that luxury. So if you are going to go for a ride this weekend, make sure, A, that you're properly hydrated, and second of all, make sure you build in plenty of rest. That way you can make sure you can rehydrate yourself, you can cool down, because the last thing you want to do is get lethargic and lightheaded while you're trying to operate a motorcycle, because that could potentially spell disaster, especially if you're doing all the correct things on the road. Someone drifts over into your lane, you need to be able to react quickly. But if you are injured in a motorcycle accident, make sure you contact Law Tigers at 1-800-LAW-TIGERS even before you get in touch with the insurance company. Your case evaluation with Law Tigers is always free, and you don't pay a dime until your case settles. So give them a call, 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, or visit lawtigers.com. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm. The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Dennis Cox in for Tim Donnelly this afternoon. Max Gorin is producing the show. Max, I had some FOMO last night. Watching an entire football stadium. Watched the United States win 2-0 against Bosnia. I had some real FOMO yesterday, but I'm still loving it. We'll break down that big win as the United States gets to the round of 16 next.
Hey, man, been to Sharky's lately?
Yeah, man, I was there last night with you.
Oh, yeah. The wings and the burgers are killer. They have so many beers it's hard to choose, you know?
I know. You know, they got trivia on Tuesdays and luck of the draw darts on Sunday, man. I love them both.
Yeah, I love that place, man.
You know what, man? I think Sharky's may be the best bar in the world.
Yeah, I think you're right, man. Let's go grab a beer.
Sharky's at the corner of Delta Lake Drive and Durham Road. Open 7 days a week.
Keep the soccer excitement going with the North Carolina Courage on July 4th at 6:30 p.m. at First Horizon Stadium. Enjoy Supergirl Night, a 4th of July block party with local breweries and barbecue, and the unmatched energy of Courage Country. Premium inventory is limited, so reserve yours today at nccourage.com.
The world's biggest soccer tournament has arrived, and you can trade on the entire tournament on Kalshi. On Kalshi, you can trade every match from the opening stage all the way to the final. Right now, the United States is trading at about 1.5% to win the whole darn thing, which means opportunity. A $10 trade will pay out about $6,000 if they go on to win the world's soccer's biggest prize. On Kalshi, you're not just waiting for that last payout if it happens. You're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there's no house. And as the probability changes, you can buy in and out of your position. For a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use code TIMD, that's TIMD, no spaces, to get $10 when you trade 10. KALSHI, Kalshi. Trade on the beautiful game. 18 plus, restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Event contract trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Prices, values, and availability markets may differ from those mentioned. For more information, see kalshi.com/regulators.
Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Tillman! Malik Tillman! 2-0 United States!
I had a buddy of mine, someone that I know, Max, that was actually there in Santa Clara, California yesterday for that game between the United States and Bosnia Herzegovina. I don't think I've ever been so jealous of somebody in my entire life being at that event. Just yesterday. I'm like, it just looked so awesome. Just watching on television, just seeing the entire crowd just going absolutely nuts, especially after that Tillman free kick. Well, when Balogun scored, it made it 1-0, officially 1-0. Place was going bonkers. And then just even after the game, Max, they're saying Country Roads. Why we should be playing Country Roads right now, Max.
We
should
should
be playing Country Roads. And I love the fact he's like, I'll give credit to Fox on this one for the broadcast. was when afterwards, see this right here? They were playing this in the stadium. And everyone was singing along. And I love the fact that the broadcast said, you know what? Like, crank the music, Max. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country roads. The entire stadium's singing it. I loved it.
There's some debate. Like some people are saying that they should choose a different song, or like it should be Freebird. But like that.
No, this is perfect.
Do they play Freebird in the stadium, or is that just on the broadcast?
I think they played it in the stadium afterwards.
I would hope so. I like that remix version. It's just like a super hype goal song.
Yeah, but after the game, like the entire stadium is singing all along to this song, and the broadcast just lets it just let it breathe. And my fiance and I, we're sitting to that we're singing along too.
It's like yes! College football. It's like it's like you've been transported to Morganton, West Virginia, specifically in terms of that song, or just like any like Saturday college football atmosphere where people are singing along or going along to the fight song or whatever. That's kind of what America is bringing to the World Cup.
You know what? I actually did see someone yesterday. I forget who it was. I'm sure it's not the first person that's mentioned this. It said, we need to have marching bands, like, at the games. Like, I don't know, name your college, right? You're just at the games, like, boom, corner kick comes up. It's like with Florida State, and they're doing the shot, like, whatever it might be. Like, just have that at these games. It would be absolutely electric if they have marching bands at these games. Just add even more to the atmosphere of it. And it is fun, actually, the way the broadcast has adjusted to give it kind of that college game day vibe. Like, you have the in-studio group with Thierry Henry and Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Like, they're giving you, like, the analysis, right? But then you have Landon Donovan and all that crew, and they're just out there being like, it's like college game day. We're out here. Hey, everyone, this team just won. People are going nuts. You're playing to the crowd. That college atmosphere, and it's electric. And then, obviously, there's the game itself. Now, just because the United States won last night doesn't mean that there aren't detractors of what the U.S. men's national team getting to the round of 16, including Tommy Smith, part of Grumpy Pundits, talking about the gap between the U.S. men's national team and the other top teams in the World Cup.
I don't think anybody has a shot to win it except France. There's a tremendous gap between the whole lot. And I say that with all due reverence to, like, teams like Spain. Spain are growing into the competition. Watch for the young player, Lamine Yamal. He's that good. And when you look at the caliber of players, the players they have, Olise is probably going to be, he'd be my player of the tournament so far. He's a young player that plays with France. And he had, I call it a tricycle kick the other day. It wasn't a bicycle kick because he didn't get all the way around on it, and he hit the post with it. They have players who can score goals, which is the important thing when you get to this junction of the World Cup.
Cool. Got it, Tommy. Well, we do have guys that can score goals. So he's Flo Balogun. But guess what?
He's not playing.
He's not playing.
Game.
He got a damn red card, which was crap. Mauricio Pochettino, manager, head coach of the United States men's national team. Your thoughts on Balogun's red card yesterday?
For me, never is a red card. Watching after on TV, and never was the intention to step up of the player. That was a normal action in football that happened because by accident, and it's never intentional. That is why for me, it's never red card.
So that's the manager, his thoughts. Now, Herculez Gomez, ESPN soccer analyst, former U.S. men's national team player himself, discussed how Balogun missing the upcoming game on Monday against Belgium, how that changes the narrative around the World Cup and the U.S. men's national team.
It is devastating, and it could tilt the series in Belgium's way. This is a pick-em in Vegas terms, this Belgium versus U.S. men's national team without a Folarin Balogun. He was the X-factor for the U.S. men's national team. Landon Donovan had a World Cup where he scored 3 goals. Before that, you got to go to 1930 to find another forward with 3 or more goals. Fowler and Balogun had the ability in this World Cup to battle the world's greatest forwards for the Golden Boot. Now, I'm not trying to get crazier. This is realistic. The way the U.S. men's national team is playing, the way Fowler and Balogun is playing, he had the ability to climb the goal-scoring charts. Now, the U.S. men's national team will face a very talented Belgium team without one of their best players.
And it sucks. It sucks. I will say this, though. I loved, as a whole, again, before Balogun's red card, I love the chances that the United States created yesterday. I thought he and Pulisic were creating chances as advertised.
Oh, yeah. He could have had 3 goals in that game himself.
He had one called back because of offsides.
Had the one called back, had the one go off the crossbar as well. He was looking real sharp.
He was all over it. I actually thought the back line actually as a whole played pretty solid for the United States.
Tim Ream, shout out Charlotte FC.
Yeah, Charlotte FC. But I think the thing that, to me, is that they showed a ton of guts last night. The word that we kept hearing was they're going to have to suffer through this. They suffered through, but like the word suffer was, I'm suffering from you all saying the word suffer so damn much last night. But they showed a lot of cojones. Playing it down a player for basically 35 minutes last night. And Malik Tillman, that free kick goal was an absolute beauty. There is something like when you watch the team play, when you watch them celebrate, especially like there are moments late in that game, the way they were just interacting with the crowd. I think this is the benefit of like having a home field advantage. Is that you could tell how tight-knit that group seems to be. When Balogun scored the first goal, again, the one that actually got waved off, just the way the whole sideline reacted, guys sprinting out there in the field. Now, again, we've seen other countries and do that, but it's so genuine you feel like how these guys play for one another. You just get that sense when these guys are out there on the field. And watching them last night, that win against Bosnia, going into this game against Belgium, the fact that they've been able to play and fight through some adversity in different ways. Like they had the big win where they scored 4 goals against Paraguay. They had, again, with mostly playing with their backup unit out there on the field against Turkey, had to fight through, being down a goal and understanding what it's like to push back after being down a goal in that game. I understand they came up short, but there's also a learning lesson that comes from with that as well. You had to, up just 1-0, had to fend off a Bosnian team that was trying to tie it up, being down a player. And then not only did you hold them off, you scored a goal yourself when you had the opportunity. I think that's just going to lend itself to, if they can get through Belgium and Balogun comes back to whomever they play in the round of 8, the dude's going to come out with a vengeance and fresh legs, which is, I feel bad for whomever the United States got to play in that game. Now, it's only going to get tougher because, again, we're talking the best of the best here, right? Eventually, you're going to have to go against potentially a Spain or a Morocco or France or someone along those lines. Like, that's what you're going to have to do.
Spain would be that projected opponent in the quarterfinal, by the way.
Okay, fine. Bring them on. Bring on Spain. They don't want this smoke. Again, I think they can beat. I mean, we saw Belgium had to come back yesterday against Senegal. They were down 2-0. Now, Senegal tried to, it looked like from watching the game, they just trying to pack things in. It didn't quite work, but let's be honest, U.S., when they're playing their best, they could beat Belgium, I feel like. I'm not going to sit here and tell you like I'm like the biggest soccer expert in the world, but to me, the United States, without Balogun, still has enough depth of guys that can come off the bench and still contribute and play well. Whether it's Pepe, whether it's Berhalter, whether it's Reina, they have guys that can still step in and play. And that's a good thing. You're going to have to go through adversity if you're going to win something like this. And that's exactly what the United States is going through right now. But man, yesterday, They're playing Country Roads. I was singing along. So jealous that I wasn't there for that. I wish, again, I wish, Max, that we had World Cup matches in Charlotte at Bank of America.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
And maybe a little more disposable income because the tickets, particularly for the U.S. matches, insane. Are they're not cheap.
They're insane. They're insane. The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Dennis Cox in for Tim Donnelly this afternoon. Max Gorham producing the show today. By the way, if you missed any of the show, check out the Best of the Drive podcast, available wherever you get your podcasts, Apple, Spotify, you name it. Just look for the Best of the Drive with Tim Donnelly. Another way you can access our podcast, just go to your app store, Google Play, depending on what kind of phone you have, and download the 99.9 The Fan app. It's free, people. Free. Again, free. 99.9 The Fan app. We have other content that's on there, video access. We also have our live stream of our show. You can listen to us anywhere you are. There's different articles and stuff that are written. I know Max has written some few things on there. I've contributed some articles in the past as well. Some original content. There's also contests for our people that subscribe to our 99.9 The Fan app as well. So subscribe. Again, it's free. And also check us out on YouTube, 99.9 The Fan. You can stream and watch us right there as well. One of the things that we actually have on the 99.9 The Fan app, Max, is we actually have a separate tabs for different schools and teams. So, for example, you want Carolina Hurricanes content. You can go right to the Carolina Hurricanes tab that we have there. Boom, Canes content. You want Carolina Panthers content, the exact same thing. And it may be, Max, this conversation that we have regarding the Carolina Panthers will show up on the 99.9 The Fan app and our YouTube page and Best of podcast, as well as we talk about not only just the players going into the 2026 season for the Carolina Panthers, but we blindly rank them. Next, football at 4.
It's bow time. Ordering Bojangles Bow Bites is the easiest choice you'll make today. The bite-sized hand-breaded chicken is fried to crispy perfection, making it perfect for sharing, snacking, or when you're on the go. Just don't call it a nugget. The only hard part is choosing from our 6 dipping sauces. We've got a sauce for every kind of craving, from our creamy house-made ranch to our sweet and spicy peach honey pepper sauce. It all depends on what kind of mood you're in. Head to your nearest Bojangles today and discover the dippable, shareable, and craveable Bow Bites. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to head on over to Bojangles to try Bojangles' new Bow Bites. Bite-sized hand-breaded chicken fried to crispy perfection. On the go, they're perfect for snacking or sharing. Dipped in your favorite sauce like creamy house-made ranch or peach honey pepper, they're the perfect way to satisfy your craving for flavor and value. Try Bojangles' new Bow Bites. It's an easy choice to make when it's bow time.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55 plus plan saved us so much money.
A lot.
And that's important. Trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, ta-da! If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it. Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet rely on 2 lines of Essentials Choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at ritchielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
Broadcasting live from the Eagle Leasing Storage Studio. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Canes light the lamp here.
I'm meteorologist Grant Skinner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. We'll have intense heat this afternoon with highs reaching to around 100 degrees. Heat index values could reach to around 105. We'll stay dry with high pressure in place. We'll be even hotter for our Friday.
4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones up 594 points today to 52,899.
Let's move the chains. Time for Football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Dennis Cox sitting in for Tim Donnelly this afternoon. By the way, last show of the week. Max Gorman producing the show. This is the last show of the week. Tim will be back on Monday. Again, last show of the week. First of all, we want everyone to be safe out there. All right? Especially a couple things. One, fireworks can be dangerous. Be smart. Second of all, it's hot. It's hot. Hydrate. Eat some good fruit. Keep yourself hydrated, folks. And third of all, safe out there on the roads. All right? Be patient with other people that are trying to get to different locations, or maybe go to the same destinations that you are. Maybe you're traveling down to the beach. You're heading down I-40 right now down to Wrightsville. Maybe that's what you're doing. Be safe driving. Okay? And if you're impaired, don't get behind the wheel. We want everyone to be safe this holiday. Okay? We're celebrating 250 years. Let's celebrate. Let's all enjoy ourselves, have fun, but let's also make sure that we all get to work on Monday. Enjoy yourself, right? But we can also be responsible with doing it. All right, that's your PSA for the day. Time for the Football at 4. We're talking to Carolina Panthers. Football at 4, presented by John Heister, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Get off your keister and come to Heister. Max, we're infusing a couple things here today for Football at 4. We're talking a little Carolina Panthers. The NFL Top 100 is taking place right now. We've seen 3 Carolina Panthers so far in the NFL Top 100. Bryce Young, 98. Derek Brown, the defensive tackle, at number 90. Wide receiver Tetairoa McMillan, fresh off of his NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year performance last year in 2025, coming in at number 87. Well, to have fun and talk about the top players, which, by the way, 3 weeks from today is the first day of training camp. Like, they're actually on the field practicing in 3 weeks. And in 5 weeks from today, they're actually on the field playing in the Hall of Fame game in Canton, Ohio. So to do this, Max, we're going to blind rank top 5 Carolina Panthers. Blind ranking. We're going to infuse it right here in the Football 4. Let's do a blind ranking, Max.
Should I hit the music?
Yes! Absolutely hit the music. Yes. So the way a blind ranking works, we're going to go with current Carolina Panthers players. And Max is going to give me a name, one name at a time, and I have to blindly rank them 1 through 5. 1 through 5, blindly ranking these Carolina Panthers players. Now, I don't know the players that Max is going to give me. And once I slot a player into a position, let's say, for example, he gives me a player, I slot them in at number 4, I can't move them up or down. They're locked in. Hence why it's a blind ranking. All right, Max, who's the first name?
I'm just going to start out and give you the quarterback, Bryce Young. It's with the full empty ranking. Don't know who's going to come next. Bryce Young, quarterback, entering his 4th season. He's gotten better every year. Number 98 on the NFL Top 100. Bryce Young, where do you rank him 1 through 5 for Carolina Panthers heading into next season?
Oh, this is difficult. You're much more bullish on Bryce Young than I am.
I know where Tim would rank him.
What, 5?
100%.
I don't know if Tim would actually go 5. I won't go 5. I won't go 5. I generally have a rule on a blind ranking. You don't go number 3 to start. I'm breaking my own... No, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to break my own rule. I'm going to put Bryce Young at number 3. Ugh. Max, come out with just... It's hot outside, and you got to throw more heat on top of it? All right.
Yeah, I wanted it to be a tough one. I know Bryce Young is polarizing, so to have the whole list at your disposal, you could put him anywhere.
I'll put him at 3.
Especially if you don't know who's following.
What's the thing? I don't know. I don't. I'll put Bryce Young at number 3.
All right. Up next, we're going to go to his favorite target from last year, Tetairoa McMillan, also ranked in the NFL Top 100. I believe he was, 87?
He was 87.
Offensive Rookie of the Year. 1,000-yard season in his rookie season. Where are we putting Teteroa McMillan? 1, 2, 4, or 5?
He's definitely above Bryce Young for me. Now, the question is there are some other guys that I feel are definitely higher than Bryce Young. Again, I don't know the players that you're going to give me, but I will be comfortable. I'll be comfortable putting Teteroa McMillan number 1. Again, because I don't know who you're going to give me. I'll put T-Mac number 1. I'll put T-Mac number 1 in this blind ranking.
Deserving number 1, I think.
Number 1. Again,
even
I don't know
no matter
who
who he's going
give.
up against. I feel like he would have a good argument to be number 1
Yes.
in any group of 5 Panthers players.
And there's only really as you look at the whole roster, only really 1 or 2 guys I would actually put above him. So I'm comfortable putting Teteroa McMillan at number 1 in this blind ranking. So you gave me Bryce Young, blind ranking Carolina Panthers players. You gave me Bryce Young, I put him at number 3. You gave me Teteroa McMillan, I put him at number 1. So I have 2, 4, and 5 available on the blind ranking. What's the next name?
We're going to go to a defensive player. We're going to go to Devin Lloyd, the new acquisition linebacker, previously of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Very good season 2025. Should help out a position group that was in need for Carolina. Where are you putting Devin Lloyd on your blind ranking for Carolina Panthers heading into the 2026 season?
I know I should not have put Bryce Young at number 3. I broke my own rule. Broke my own rule, Max.
I put you in a tough spot.
I broke my own rule, but that's okay. That's what makes this fun and stressful. Devin Lloyd 2. Putting Devin Lloyd 2. Putting Devin Lloyd number 2. I knew I shouldn't put Bryce Young at number 3 to start things off, but that's where we are. That's where we are. Devin Lloyd number 2.
Got to play by the book to have the best results.
That's what you got to do.
Next up, we'll go to not a partner, but a teammate of Bryce Young's in the backfield, and that would be Chuba Hubbard, the running back. I believe it was before this previous season. He had just signed that 4-year extension. Had a solid season, but saw a lot of his carries get taken by Rico Dowdle, who is now no longer a Carolina Panther.
Dealt with some injuries, too.
Putting Chuba Hubbard kind of back in the driver's seat to be the featured back for the Panthers in the run game this year. You've got 4 and 5 open. Where are you putting Chuba Hubbard?
I'm comfortable actually on this list putting Chuba Hubbard number 5. I'm actually comfortable putting Chuba Hubbard below Bryce Young. I'll put him at number 5. The only thing, Chuba Hubbard can get you a lot of carries, but what Chuba Hubbard lacks is that consistent big play threat. Chuba Hubbard will churn you out some first downs, but it's not often that you feel like, at any moment he's going to pop off a 27, 28-yarder with just a sliver of a crease. Not that he hasn't had some big runs in his career, but he's not that consistent big play threat. But again, he could churn out a lot of carries and a lot of yards. He has dealt with some injuries a little bit the last couple of seasons. I know he had that quad injury, which I felt like he got stronger later on in the season as he was recovering from it. But I'm okay putting Chuba Hubbard number 5 on this list. So, all right, to recap the blind ranking so far, Max. You gave me Bryce Young. I put him at number 3. I broke my own rule. You gave me Teteroa McMillan. I put T-Mac number 1. You gave me Devin Lloyd, the newly acquired free agent signing off-ball linebacker from Jacksonville. I put him at number 2. You gave me Chuba Hubbard. I put him at number 5. Leaves only number 4 available on the blind ranking.
Yeah, your number 4 is going to be one of my favorite players on this Panthers team. That's Mike Jackson, the cornerback. Had a pretty good season last year opposite J.C. Horn. 4 interceptions during the regular season. Picked one off of Matt Stafford in the playoff game against the Rams. Dealing with some tough assignments in terms of those Rams wide receivers as well. Played a very, very good game. But he's going to slot in at number 4 for you. So your final ranking, blind ranking, Carolina Panthers players heading into this season. Teteroa McMillan 1, Devin Lloyd 2, Bryce Young 3, Mike Jackson 4, and Chuba Hubbard 5. What changes would you make if you were allowed to rank them straight up?
Well, Max, I'm going to turn it on you. You're the one that issued this list out. What would you do in the gift of hindsight in terms of this list?
I wouldn't change too much. I'm a big fan of Mike Jackson. I would definitely swap him and Bryce Young at least. And then when it comes to between Devin Lloyd and Mike Jackson, that's kind of a tough spot, I think, just based off of, because Devin Lloyd was all pro last year, was he not?
Was.
I think just based on that, he can hold on to the number 2 spot. So really all I would do different from your ranking is flip Bryce Young and Mike Jackson at 3 and 4.
I don't hate this blind ranking very much. I'm probably with you in the gift of hindsight. I'll probably do the same thing. Put Mike Jackson 2 and put Bryce Young at number 3. And the gift of hindsight. So this actually turned out a lot better than I actually thought it was going to be. It actually turned out pretty well. I really am curious to see what happens with Mike Jackson this upcoming season. If he has another really strong year, will Carolina extend him even just for another year or two? Because he's, 30, 31 now is what his age is. So, again, wrong side of 30, especially in terms of sports. Now, do they extend him, or is he a player that if he plays really, really well again, has back-to-back really, really strong seasons, is he going to be priced out? Because if Carolina, for example, if Bryce Young has a really strong season where you're looking to sign him to an extension, you also have other guys like Damian Lewis that you might want to keep. There's still a question about what you want to do with Ike Ekwonu. You just simply can't pay everybody. The economics of the NFL just don't allow that to happen. So the question becomes, does he play well enough for you to keep him? But also, does he play too well to the point where you actually can't afford it? And these are all questions that you have to take into consideration because there's still some weaknesses on the team. I still think free safety is a weakness. With Nick Scott back there, eventually you're going to have to replace him. You are eventually going to have to replace Taylor Moton. Now, that could be Monroe Freeling. That could be someone else that they bring in, whether they draft him, whomever. So eventually you are going to have to add to your roster from the outside, whether that's via draft or signing free agents. So again, you can't keep everybody. Just simply can't. Someone's got to play on rookie contracts, whether that's Will Lee that you just drafted, whether that's Corey Thornton. There are some options there. But Mike Jackson in the last year, a contract year, might give you a guy in a contract year generally is going to give you his best.
Yeah, he's going to play his heart out, try to secure the bag. Last year of and I don't think he's making all that much, too, on his current deal because it was before he kind of broke out last season and had a really good year. I mean, if he can follow it up with 2 straight very good seasons for a corner, I mean, that can get you paid in the NFL.
So he's 29. He was actually born January of 97. So this is age 29 season. He signed a 2-year contract worth just over $10 million a couple years ago. So he's in the second year of that deal. Base salary, $4.25 million. He's got some other game roster bonuses and things along those lines. So anyway, his base salary, $4.25 million. But in terms of cash of what he can make this upcoming season, you're looking at about $4.8 million cash-wise. But yeah, he might be 30 years old next off season, and a chance to possibly again sign a mega deal. Not to say mega deal, but a large contract for a guy like Mike Jackson. Panthers might not be able to afford him. But guess what? If you get that high level of play this upcoming season to the point where you can't afford him, it means he had a pretty damn good season. I think you'll take that. That's Football at 4, presented by John Heister, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram on 99.9 The Fan. Get off your keister and come to Heister. Just had a little fun there with a blind ranking. Max, has anything happened with the Carolina Hurricanes in the last hour and 15 minutes since we started this show?
I'll hit refresh one more time, but I don't think so.
I mean,
doesn't look like anything's happening.
Nothing's happened really across the NHL. Now, for example, Jakub Dobiš, the netminder for the Montreal Canadiens, agreed to terms on a 3-year contract extension, which doesn't kick in until the 27-28, so it doesn't kick in until next year. He's making 3 years at $5.357 million a year.
Yeah, it goes. It's one of those weird contracts where it goes all the way down to the last digit of 375.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's just a nod to his number being 75, but
it could be actually.
It's always interesting when you see those where it's got the very specific number. Like we were talking about Bobby Bonilla yesterday. His payment ends with 20 cents or something. I was like, we're really going down to the cents of it.
Yeah, we are. Yes, we are. So the Carolina Hurricanes haven't done Anything. So far since the new league year began at noon yesterday. What's your confidence? What's your concern for the Carolina Hurricanes going into next season now that free agency has begun? Cons and Cons, next.
Hey, it's Tim Donnelly here for Mainer Service Company. We have a holiday coming up, and that means large gatherings of people, maybe at your house, which could be maybe testing the plumbing in ways that your plumbing's not used to. If there's any problems, don't worry. We don't have to talk about the gross things that might happen or go on. All you need to know is to call Mainer Service Company. And that's not just for your plumbing. If your cooling system is overworked with everybody in town, or your electrical system has something going down, or obviously if this were winter and the heating system were going down, Mainer Service Company should be your number one call in all of those situations. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week service all across the triangle. That's all of Wake County and 50 miles in any direction from Wake County. You need to call Mainer Service Company, 919-361-0993, or visit them online at MainerServices.com. That's MAYNOR Services.com. Service you can trust.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
I think it's fair to speculate what version of him you're going to get. And that's why I don't think that Giannis had a year to waste when it comes to his career mortality, which is why Boston would have been the more attractive destination. There's a lot of pressure for Giannis to deliver in Miami, and I'm not quite sure that he's going to have the supporting cast to do it in year one.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Some of life's most meaningful moments are in summertime. Anniversary dinner, weekend getaway, sunset toast to another beautiful year together. Celebrate your story with a gift as timeless as your love from Bailey's Fine Jewelry. From classic diamond bracelets to elegant watches and stunning anniversary bands, Bailey's helps you mark every milestone beautifully. This summer, celebrate the moments that matter most. Visit Bailey's Fine Jewelry in Raleigh, Cary, Greenville, Rocky Mount, and Charlotte. Every woman wants a Bailey box.
If you have a 2, 3, or 4% mortgage rate, don't refinance it. You don't have to, but you can still get cash out of your home. Introducing Loan Pronto's zero-cost equity loan. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. That's right. With Loan Pronto, you can get all the cash you need without touching your first mortgage and without any fees. One local homeowner just got $100,000, paid off all their credit cards, paid off their existing HELOC, remodeled their kitchen, and saved over $1,500 per month. It gets better. There's no hard credit pull up front, usually no appraisal, no long drawn-out process, and listen, no closing costs. You may be able to even skip your next 2 house payments. Call Loan Pronto now. Leave your low-rate mortgage intact, but get the cash you need in as little as 2 weeks without paying closing costs. LoanPronto.com. See how much you can get right now. Call 919-381-1760. That's 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com. For qualified homeowners, equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Ever catch yourself hiding your smile in photos? If you're dealing with stained, uneven, crowded, or missing teeth, you're not alone, and you don't have to live with it. At Chapel Hill Family and Cosmetic Dentistry, Dr. James Ferguson and his team help patients transform their smiles every day using treatments like veneers, dental implants, and so much more. Whether you want a small refresh or a complete smile makeover, your plan is designed just for you. Come see what's possible. Visit chapelhilldds.com to request a consultation today.
Max, I go through the refreshing of the feeds of all the hockey insiders and people all in the know when it comes to the NHL. Nothing's happened. Like nothing really has happened today. We had one trade where it was Jake Middleton going from Minnesota. Exactly. Like that's it. Crickets. Nothing but crickets. Well, we had Jake Middleton get traded from Minnesota to the Calgary Flames, along with like a second, a third, and a fourth round pick, going from Minnesota to Calgary in exchange for Blake Coleman and Ole Mata. Woo. And Alex Ovechkin is coming back to Washington for the Capitals for another season. 41 years old. Still getting it done. That's it. I wish I had more for you out there, folks, in terms of what the Carolina Hurricanes have done. Now, Alexander Nikishin is still a Carolina Hurricane. Jason Robertson, the forward who puts up darn near 100 points every season for the Dallas Stars, is still a restricted free agent and still a member of the Dallas Stars. Connor Hellebuck, the goaltender for the Winnipeg Jets, is still the goaltender for the Winnipeg Jets. Zach Werenski, the defenseman for the Columbus Blue Jackets, who just won a Norris Trophy for best defenseman in the NHL, is still a member of the Columbus Blue Jackets. So nothing really big has happened yet. And that's okay. That's fine. The Canes are basically intact from what they were last year. We did see Frederik Andersen did sign a 1-year deal with the Edmonton Oilers, base salary $1 million, but he can make $1.8 million in bonuses and incentives, including if he plays in 10 games, he gets $600,000. If he plays, I think, 20 games, he gets an additional $400K, so he can easily make an additional $1 million. And then, depending on how well they do in the playoffs, he can make potentially even more money. So, Max, the fact that we are at this point of free agency, and in our YouTube live chat to answer Ryan Worthington's question, are we going to do anything? I think something will happen. I don't think it's going to be huge. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be anything major, at least not anything time soon. So, Max, on this Thursday, July the 2nd, the Canes fresh off winning a Stanley Cup. It's a new league year. We've turned the calendar over. What's our cons? We'll do a little cons and cons. Confidence and concern for the Carolina Hurricanes.
Well, to play great defense, you need one thing above all else.
That starts with a W.
Confidence.
Cons and cons. Confidence, concerns. To quote Tim Donnelly. By the way, it's The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Dennis Cox sitting in for Tim Donnelly this afternoon. Max Gorin producing the show. To quote Tim Donnelly, whenever someone asks you want to hear the good news or the bad news, you say, give me the bad news first. So we'll start with concerns. Max, what is your concern going into this new league year for the Carolina Hurricanes?
I'm concerned that it would be kind of a departure from their methodology of we could always get better. How many times have Tom Dundon and Eric Tulsky and all the leadership from this team said, well, we're not satisfied until we have the 20 best players in the NHL. You can always get better. Well, granted, while I don't think it would be the worst thing in the world to run it back with the same team that they had last season that just won the Stanley Cup, again, like if you're not trying to improve, you're creating potential for complacency. There's more of a risk if there is an injury to someone on your current roster that the team performance could dwindle a little bit in that situation. And they did a really good job of battling through injuries, particularly in the first half of the regular season this past year. But I don't know. I want them to stay that course of always consistently trying to continue to get better, because there are other teams, particularly in the conference, that are getting better through acquisitions and moves they're making so far. Hurricanes are kind of staying quiet right now, just kind of looking around, scoping out the scene. I think they will do something, but I am concerned that if they don't do like anything at all, then perhaps you can fall a little bit behind the 8 ball, even though it would still be obviously a phenomenal team and a contender in the East. You can always get a little bit better.
My concern, Max, how does this team handle being the hunted? Because for the last several years, it's gotten close. Got to the Eastern Conference Final for 3 times in 4 years. Got to the conference final, get to the conference final, come up short, come up short, come up short. Then finally they win it. Now the target's on their back. All the work that you were trying to do, and I remember actually talking to Jaylen Chatfield about this, the Canes defenseman, before the Stanley Cup started, about how tight-knit of a group that they have and what was kind of behind that, especially when you hear guys saying this group is even more tight-knit than they were the year before. I'm like, well, it's 19 of 24 guys are back. And he said the fact that that team had to go through that pain together. They had to go through the losses together. They had experienced those kinds of things as a group together. And that was one of the major driving forces for them in their quest for a cup. Now they reached that mountaintop. Now you're no longer the one that's chasing. You're the one that's being chased. So how do you handle that from an emotional standpoint, mental standpoint? Like, just how do you handle being the team that's hunted? Because this is, let's be honest, the only guys that ever won a cup before this season were Jordan Stahl and William Carrier. That's it. So for these guys, it's uncharted territory. How do you handle being the hunted? All right, cons and cons continue here, Max. We did our concerns. What's your confidence going forward?
I'm confident that something is coming. Something probably bigger than we expect. Or maybe we've set ourselves up for a big move because...
Connor Bedard?
Yeah, well, wouldn't that be awesome? We've seen this front office take big swings in the past. They've shown they're not afraid of risk. Publicly, they're very open about the fact that they want to take those risks and want to try to improve the team with, a proven talent, and they want to bring in those guys that can help get them over the top. And granted, there's no top really for them to get over, having just won the Stanley Cup, but now you got to get back there, right? So I think something's coming. I think they've been mentioned in far too many of these rumors and rumblings with trade targets and RFAs and things like that for nothing to happen. So something is coming, whether it's a Nikishin extension, whether it's a trade, whether it's an offer sheet, something is coming at some point. Just because we're, a day and 4 hours into free agency, they haven't done anything, I don't think that means they're going to sit on their hands and not take action. I think something is coming around the corner, and it may be something that we don't even expect.
Tulski's always cooking. Always feels like he's cooking. My confidence, Max, going forward with the Carolina Hurricanes is the fact that you're not losing really anybody. The fact that you have continuity from one year to the next, I think, is a good thing. Oftentimes we see with championship teams is that their players get signed away by other teams when they hit free agency and those kinds of things. Like, well, we need that championship pedigree on our roster. Well, guess what? Canes can just run it back with the exact same crew. Hey, we had a team that just won a Stanley Cup. We don't have to make any major moves. All your young guys are locked up long term. Stankoven, Jackson Blake, Jarvis, all these. They're all locked up long term. You don't have to worry about signing guys to extensions or anything like that, or losing guys in free agency. You don't have to worry about that right now. And those young guys that you locked up already, again, with this part of the continuity, is that you expect those young guys to still get better. I can only imagine Seth Jarvis, when he actually has his shoulder repaired and is actually up to full strength, or as close to full strength as you can be with a repaired shoulder, how much better he's going to be. I mean, he still put up 67, 68 points this past season. Still like a 33, 34 goal scorer. Putting up 65, 66, 67 points with a bad shoulder. I can only imagine how much better he's going to be when that shoulder is fixed. Logan Stankoven is just 23 years old. Jackson Blake is just 22 years old, about to turn 23. How much better those guys are going to get. So the fact that you have continuity and that your team is already intact, you don't have to make any major moves, is a good thing. Having that consistency is big. But it also gives you that flexibility, Max, to make that big move. Gives you that continuity, gives you that flexibility to make that big move. Now, what that move is, like you said, we don't know. We did not see Taylor Hall, Mikko Rantanen. We didn't see any of that coming. Didn't see any of that. Remember Jake Gensel a couple years ago? We were like, oh, wait, what? We got Jake Gensel? No one saw that coming. No one saw Keandre Miller. Nikolai Ehlers that name was floating around out there. It's like, all right, that's a pretty strong contender right there. Canes are in a good position. They earned that. They earned themselves to be in the position that they are. And next season, they have all their draft picks for the next couple of seasons, too. The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Dennis Cox in for Tim Donnelly this afternoon. Max scoring, producing the show. Real quick, score update. Spain just scored just a couple of minutes ago. They're up 2-0 over Austria. Up 2-0 over Austria. Other matches coming up tonight. We have Portugal taking on Croatia. And late tonight at 11 p.m., Switzerland faces Algeria. As the soccer update, our coverage of soccer's biggest event, presented by Wake Orthopedics and the North Carolina Courage. Big 2-0 win last night for the United States. Big 2-0 win. Max, there are things in the sport of soccer that I would actually like to see changed. And soccer purists have yelled at me for this, and that's fine. But there are some different rules that I would like to see change in soccer. And there are actually some different things that are going to be but being tried out in the sport of basketball. Max, the Summer League for the NBA is actually coming up here very soon. We'll see guys like Henry Vasar from North Carolina, Isaiah Evans, some of these young guys play in the NBA Summer League coming up here shortly. And Max, you showed me actually a rule that the NBA is implementing for the Summer League that's taking place. It has to do with free throws, Max.
Yeah, so this is a rule that they've had in the G League for, I think, 6 or 7 years now, is the 2019-2020 season.
Mm-hmm.
It's the one free throw rule. So when free throws are awarded, one free throw is going to be attempted no matter what. So whether it's an and one, where you just get the one, or it's a shooting foul. Say you got fouled on a layup. Normally you'd have 2 shots. Now it's just 1 shot. But the one free throw has the value of those shots. So if it normally would have been a trip for 2 shots, it's just 1 free throw, but now it's worth 2. If you were fouled shooting a 3-pointer, and you normally would have shot 3 shots, you're still just shooting 1 now, but it's worth 3 points. So it helps kind of speed up the game.
Mm-hmm.
They said that they've had this since 2019-2020 to improve game flow. Now, the standard free throw rules go back to the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter and overtime. So it's still normal free throws for all of that. But the rest of the game, first half, third quarter, all the way down to the last 2 minutes, is the one free throw rule, which is supposed to help kind of speed things along a little bit.
Okay. Do you like that rule?
I like it just because, I mean, granted, it's the end of game where the rules would still go back to standard. That ends up being the free throw contests, and it kind of drags on. But there are sequences during regular season games and during early parts of games where it just gets bogged down so much by, there's a foul on this end. Then they come down. Referee called a foul there. Now we're shooting free throws again. Like, it can get a little bit tiresome. So anything to help kind of speed things along. Also adds a little bit of stakes and leverage to every free throw, a little bit more pressure. So I like it personally. I can't tell you I've watched a ton of G League basketball to actually see it in action, but
likewise,
I feel like that would help kind of the flow of the game move along a little bit better.
I'm curious to see how it's going to go in the Summer League. So, Max, it kind of got us thinking some different rules that we would actually like to see changed in sports. Max, one of the rules that I would actually like to see changed, and the reason why I say this is because the World Cup is taking place right now. There's one aspect of offsides in soccer that I would love to see changed. And actually, a lot of it actually had to do with Christian Pulisic's goal that got called back yesterday. In my opinion, in soccer, if the ball is in the penalty box, like in the 18-yard box, the ball's in the penalty area. If the ball is in there, no offsides. You can't be offsides that close to the goal, in my opinion. The ball is that close to the net. You can't be offsides when the ball's that close. So much happens too quickly in that tight of space to the net where how am I supposed to be able to get on sides like super quickly? Because everything's happening so fast. And I think it also takes away any sort. I know they have VAR and the computerized stuff and all those kinds of things to say if someone's offsides or not. But like we saw yesterday, there was a shot taken by a United States player. I forget who it was. Goaltender makes a save, and it popped right to Christian Pulisic. And literally within a few yards of the goal. And he scores, but offsides. The ball was, when it was initially kicked, was already in the box. Once the ball's in the box, offsides no longer exists. That's my opinion. Because once the ball's in the box, boom, if I get behind you, I beat you to the net, that's on you as a defender. Like, I shouldn't have to slow myself down because you want to hold a line. That's one rule I like to change.
I like that. It's kind of like you can't be offside in your own half.
Yes.
So if you can't be offside in your own half, can't be offside in the 18-yard box. I wouldn't mind that rule, personally.
Yeah, but if the ball's outside the box in the corner, offside still applies. It's when the ball's in the box. I think it's a fair compromise. Max, do you have any rule changes?
I like the implementation of replay assists in football particularly, but you could kind of apply it to all sports. Just having somebody in the booth that can correct like very obvious mistakes and missed calls, like not even something that you'd have to go slow-mo and hem and haw over for a few minutes. But if it's like a super obvious, like, oh, they called it a catch on the field, but the ball clearly it fell out of his hands when he hit the ground. It like wasn't a catch, and they can overturn that. Like, obvious stuff like that you can see on a quick glance, like a first down, and the referee on the field for whatever reason marks it 2 yards short of what it's supposed to be. Like, replay assists can come down, get in the headset, like, hey, that's a first down. Like, respot the ball and let's get it moving. So, I don't love like having too much replay in sports because that can hurt game flow.
Slow things down.
It's like the opposite of the free throw rule we just discussed. Like, it can bog it down rather than helping it flow along. But again, being able to just correct obvious stuff like that. Like, I think the XFL did, or it's the UFL.
Mm-hmm.
But when the XFL reestablished itself, it brought in this like sky judge. And it just helps kind of things move along a little bit better and correct easy mistakes without wasting too much time on drawn-out replays that allows the TV networks to go to yet another commercial break because we don't have enough of those in football already. So, yeah, just like replay assist, something like that, sky judge, some kind of combo of that in most sports I think would do some good.
Another rule I would like to see adjusted in sports, going specifically to the sport of hockey. If there's a penalty in the final minute of a period, the team that's going on the power play has the option of carrying that power play to the start, have it start at the beginning of the next period. Because one thing that's frustrating to me, and I'll be frustrated as a player too, or as a coach, is that let's say there's 45 seconds left in the second period, and the other team flips the puck over the glass, delay of game. Well, you don't have to kill 2 minutes of a power play. You only got to kill 45 seconds. Because then once the period ends, now we have a face-off at center ice. Now me as the attacking team, I have to get the puck back into the zone again, I have to re-enter the zone, and I got to set up again in order. So basically, part of my power play has already been killed just by the simple fact that the period came to an end. Because I could be applying a bunch of pressure during that 45 seconds, but the buzzer hits, and guess what? Now my power play is stopped. So it's not really a true 2-minute power play. So if a penalty occurs in the final minute of a period, you as the team going on the power play has the ability of having that power play start at the beginning of the next period. I think that's fair, Max. Max, you're a hockey fan too. I don't know how you feel about that one, but I would like to see that because I don't think it's fair for a team that is going on a power play that, well, wait a second, I've got all this, I won the face-off, I'm applying pressure, I'm getting shots towards the net, and I don't get the full 2 minutes before the clock hits 0, and I got to go reset and do it all over again from center ice to start the next period when there's only like a minute 15 left. That's not fair to me. That doesn't give me a full 2-minute power play because I got to go have a face-off at center ice. And also for the team killing the penalty, they only got to kill a full 2 minutes. You just got to kill 45 seconds, and they only got to kill a minute 15. That's not a true 2-minute power play in my eyes.
There's a lot of fun stuff you could do with like power play rules.
Yes.
Like the PWHL has the jailbreak where if you score shorthanded, your person comes out of the box as well and the penalty's over. You could do something like that. If your team's really bad on the power play, like the Hurricanes have been at some points over the past couple seasons. Imagine if you could just decline. Like, actually, we're gonna pass on the power play. We're gonna stay even strength, I don't know why anyone would ever do that.
I don't know why anyone would ever do that.
Imagine if you could. You can decline penalties in football because sometimes it's more advantageous.
I do like the jailbreak rule. If you score shorthanded, your player comes out of the box. I actually like that a lot.
Maybe if it's 5-on-3 and the shorthanded team takes a penalty, you can opt to either go 6-on-3 or 5-on-2.
Oh, 5-on-2? Now we're just getting weird. Anyway, just things that we think can make the game, again, just slightly better, slightly improved. The Drop with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. If you have any rule changes, feel free to tag me at the Fan Rookie. Max, what's your handle for people that want to tag you?
I think it's just Max Scoring.
Just Max Scoring? You don't even know your own handle is. That's fine. But yeah, Max Scoring at the Fan Rookie for me. Also, you can go into our YouTube live chat, Church 99.9 The Fan on YouTube. You can, if there's a rule change out there that you want to see change in sports, let us know. Let us know your thoughts on it. Because one thing that we like to do, Max, here on the show, is that we actually like to look at the comments that you all leave, whether it's on our videos or YouTube live chat, on our social media posts, and we actually like to see the comments that you all have and actually bring those to life here on air with a little feedback frenzy next.
Tim Donnelly here for Kalshi, reminding you, as if we need to be reminded, it's taken over, that the world's biggest soccer tournament has arrived, and you can trade the entire tournament on Kalshi. Now, regardless of the results of last night, today, you can make some trades. On Kalshi, you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there's no house. And as the probabilities change, you can buy in and out of your position. So you don't have to wait for the final outcome of one of your trades to trade in and out as it develops. For a limited time, right now, you could download the Kalshi app and use code TIMD to get an extra $10 when you trade 10. Kalshi, Kalshi, trade on the beautiful game. 18 plus only, restriction and eligibility requirements apply. Event contract trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Prices, values, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. For more information, see kalshi.com/regulatory. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Excuse me, you think you could spare a square?
Sorry, what?
A square on your smartphone.
Oh, yeah, for the 99.9 The Fan app.
Exactly. Listen to your favorite hosts, teams, and live sports action.
The Carolina Hurricanes are the best team in the NHL. They won the 2026 Stanley Cup.
And every podcast episode at your fingertips, anytime, anywhere.
Available for Apple iPhone and Android phones. Download the 99.9 The Fan app today.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
It's game day. Are your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keeping you from the action? Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, could help you get back to the game. Skyrizi is proven to help people feel significant symptom relief, achieve remission, and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine for adults. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's or ulcerative colitis.
Control is everything to me.
Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's and ulcerative colitis combined. Learn more at skyrizi.com or 1-866-SKYRIZI.
Two 2-0 Spain over Austria right now, Max. 2-0 Spain over Austria. Now, when will the United States play Spain, Max? I think it's in the quarterfinal? So in the round of 8. So after Spain wins this game against Austria, assuming Spain beats their next opponent, because we know the United States is going to beat Belgium on Monday. We know that. We had Spain next. Spain after that. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, Max.
It's also assuming Spain would beat the winner of Portugal and Croatia, which I assume will be Portugal. Would that matchup be Spain and Portugal? That's the match of the Iberian Peninsula. Is that right? Are they both on that?
I believe so.
Just trying to keep my geography chops up. That'd be a good game, though. That'd be earlier in the day on Monday. Spain versus, assuming Spain holds on, but I think they're going to hold on for these last 10 minutes or so against Austria. Although we said that Belgium probably wasn't going to get through yesterday, and they had scored 2 goals after this point to tie it up. So who knows?
It's true.
Who knows?
That's true. Yeah, Iberian Peninsula. It's Spain, Portugal. It's all right in there. Part of France. All that good stuff. The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Dennis Cox in for Tim Donnelly this afternoon. Max Gorham producing the show. Max, we like to get the listeners involved in the show in different ways. We like to have the people that are part of this community. We want the community to grow, and we want them to be part and interact in the community. And the way we do that, one of the ways we do that is through a feedback frenzy. So we scan the interwebs, whether it's our YouTube page, our social media channels, our YouTube live chat, to just hear what you all are discussing and commenting on the things that we discuss here on the show. Max has cultivated some of these takes from you all for a little feedback frenzy. Max, what are the people saying?
Well, people have a lot to say about the Carolina Hurricanes offseason so far.
Don't say.
Their moves or lack thereof through a day and 4 or 5 hours of free agency. So we'll start with the first one here. This is from Keith. The fact that Nikishin wants a long-term extension now instead of a bridge deal is a cause of concern. He had a very good year for Carolina, but this was just 1 year. Not to mention we have defensemen Charles Alexis Legault and Dominic Badinka in the minors, who are considered NHL ready. We should trade Nikishin and get some picks and established player for him. Freddie Andersen has signed with, he said Toronto. I think he meant Edmonton.
Yeah.
So that frees up a bit more money to make a swing at a top-level talent who can fit in Brindamore's system.
I don't blame the player for wanting a long-term deal. I'll never blame the player for wanting to have long-term security. So I don't fault the player for wanting that at all. But this is kind of the trickiness of it all. Nikishin has just 1 year of experience in North America. Now, we did see the Carolina Hurricanes, after 1 season in the NHL level, Jackson Blake, get signed to a long-term extension, 8 years, which actually just kicked in. So we saw that last offseason, after just 1 year of Jackson Blake. Similarly to Logan Stankoven. Logan Stankoven played part of a season with the Dallas Stars, then played 1 full year in the NHL, the last part of that first full year in the NHL with the Carolina Hurricanes, and they signed him to an 8-year extension as well, which, by the way, just kicked in yesterday. So it's not unprecedented for the team to sign players that are young to long-term deals. We saw something similar with Seth Jarvis, long-term extension. Now, granted, he had been in the NHL for a couple years already at that point. Same thing with guys like the initial Jacob Slavin contract. We've seen young guys like even Andrei Svechnikov get signed to long-term deals as well. So Carolina isn't afraid to sign long-term deals for young players. The question is the dollar amount that Alexander Nikishin is asking for, which has been reported out there somewhere in the $8 to $8.5 million per year range, is that worth more than what Carolina is willing to pay him? That's the question. So I don't mind that Alexander Nikishin wants a long-term deal. Now, it would not surprise me if Carolina has discussed anywhere from a bridge deal that Keith had mentioned Will not surprise me if hey, let's do a 2-year deal or maybe a 3-year deal. Carry it to age 27, then we can rediscuss after that point. Wouldn't surprise me if Carolina has explored that option. Wouldn't surprise me if it's a long-term deal, at least what they discuss. To me, it's just what's the actual average annual value that Carolina is willing to pay. That's the big question.
I hope they come to a resolution on that, because ultimately I just want them to be able to keep him. And this group could compete. I mean, they could be able to add something. But if you sign him, you have a little bit of cap space. Maybe you poise yourself to make a move at the deadline of next season if you really think you need to load up before the playoffs. Another comment from that video. This is from Powder Hungry 6611.
Okay, Powder
Florida
Hungry.
was already hard to beat. Florida gets more and more better and dirtier. I am surprised you would think there is nothing wrong with just accepting the roster as is, or even worse, accepting the losses on the roster. With a track record that Florida has on the Canes, I think Tulski knows what's actually up. We either need upfront improvements on the first line or in the net, and rolling with 2 developing goalies is risky business.
Here's the thing with Florida. Assuming they're going to be healthier. You assume Matthew Tkachuk's going to be healthier. You assume same thing with Alexander Barkov going to be healthier. Obviously, added a top 6 forward in a guy like Brady Tkachuk. So we know that. But they did lose some guys like Evan Rodriguez. Their fourth line is pretty decimated. Outside of their top 4 defensemen, there's not really a whole lot there. And their goaltending situation isn't that great. So they're kind of top heavy. We know that they can goon it up and all that kind of stuff. I get that. We all know that. But here's the thing about the Florida Panthers that I think, and I've said this, and I think a lot of people lose sight on when it comes to Florida. As much as those guys can play dirty, when it gets down to the actual, it's time to score, those guys can finish. Those guys can play. They're not just a bunch of plugs running around just being goons. Yeah, they can be that, but they can also score. They can also defend. Like Brad Marchand, one of the most known rats of the NHL. You know what that guy can do? He can score. He can kill penalties. He can play on the power play. He can do all those things. He can be great defensively. He can do all that. When it comes down to actually playing the game, those guys can still play. And that's the thing. To me, the physicality and all that stuff, I think Carolina has learned to handle that. I think they've learned to handle that. Because, again, Ottawa tried to do that exact same thing to them in the first round of the playoffs. And Carolina said, whatever. Philadelphia tried to goon it up, and they laughed them off the ice. So, yeah, there's Florida still floating around out there. I get it. But to me, Carolina, you can't be reactionary to what other teams are doing. You can have the mindset of, hey, other teams are going to improve. You have to still anticipate that other teams are going to improve. Even though you just won a cup, you are now being chased by everyone else. Everyone else is trying to improve themselves to come after you. You can't be status quo. Now, part of your improvement could be individual players themselves improving. Whether that's Seth Jarvis getting his shoulder fully healthy and improving. Jackson Blake, Logan Stankoven, improving as players. Like, there's still that step that you can make. But you can't be complacent saying, hey, we just won a cup. Let's just keep things status quo. Because, again, you always have to anticipate, now that you're the team being hunted, that everyone else is doing everything that they can to try and take you down. All right, Max, what else do we have?
All right, this was from a conversation we had about the Carolina Panthers players that have the most at stake returning to the field in 2026. And one of the players that you mentioned was Bryce Young, the quarterback. This is a comment from Donald. What stats would Bryce Young have to put up to convince anyone he is a franchise quarterback? It took him 3 years to have a 3,000-yard season, which still puts him at the bottom part of the league. If he threw for 3,500 yards, 30 touchdowns, and a 10-7 record, who wouldn't think that was a fluke? If I were the Panthers, I wouldn't give him an extension after this season. I'd make him prove it 2 years in a row. Meanwhile, I'd be drafting a quarterback in the 2027 draft just to wake him up to the reality. He is not a franchise QB. The best he can hope to be is a consistent quarterback for a franchise, and he has even proven he can do that. I think he meant to say he hadn't proven he could do that, but still. Not the most supportive, most support of Bryce Young from Donald. What do you think about his comment that Bryce Young could not be a franchise QB?
I'm on the record saying that Bryce Young is, I have reservations about him. I think there's a ceiling to his game, and I think a lot of that has to do with his physical capabilities. If you look at completion percentage, Bryce Young, below league average. League average last year, completion percentage, 64.3%. Bryce Young below that at 63.6%. You're like, well, that's near league average. That's 22nd in the NFL. That's below the likes of Geno Smith and Jacoby Brissett. Like, you're below that level. He had a slightly less completion percentage than Jackson Dart did last year. If you look at some of the others, like yards per attempt, league average last year is 7 yards per attempt. Bryce Young, 6.3. That's 30th in the NFL. That's below guys like Jackson Dart, Bo Nix. Like, that's where he was in so many of these different categories. A team that still went 8-9 last year. I know he missed some time, but the team was 8-8. And the one thing about this Carolina Panthers team, I think, when it comes to Bryce Young and his future, is that can this team and this offense be better than 27th in the NFL scoring? That's what they were last year. Can this offense actually put the team in a position where they don't have to be, hey, keep it close so we can come back and win late? Like, that's the big thing. It's like, cool, like there's people like, oh, the Bryce Magic. Well, guess what? You're not going to consistently and sustain successful long-term success winning that way on a week-by-week basis. I mean, last year it was like back and forth, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. There's zero consistency from that team last season. You're not always going to have this fourth quarter or overtime comeback every single time. Just go to week 2 last year. Go to week 2 against Arizona. You got an onside kick. You got the ball back. Bryce had 8 incompletions on a potential game-winning drive. 8. The only reason why that drive extended is because Arizona kept committing penalties. He had 8 incompletions. 0 for 8. So it's not a guarantee, a lock every single time. And that's not a sustained way of being successful in the NFL. So I have my reservations. I don't think Bryce Young's a franchise quarterback. I don't. I'm on the record saying that. I don't think he's a franchise guy.
I don't know if he's a franchise guy, but I think he's very well capable of being a starting quality quarterback in the NFL,
well,
like 10 to 20th ranked range.
But okay, so what's that going to get you? Like, what does that get you in the league?
Depends what kind of playmakers you can surround him with.
If that's the case, then guess what? You don't have a good quarterback. You don't, because eventually your quarterback is going to have to elevate. I know we got to get to break. Eventually your quarterback is going to have to elevate the players around him. Can't be insulated by everyone else that's around him. Because if you're going to pay that guy $60 million, you can't pay a whole bunch of other guys to elevate him. He has to elevate others. The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Dennis Cox here real quick for Loan Pronto. If you have a 2%, 3%, or 4% mortgage rate, don't refinance it. You don't have to, but you can still get cash out of your home. Introducing Loan Pronto's zero-cost equity loan. That's right. With Loan Pronto, you can get all the cash you need without touching your first mortgage and without any fees. One local homeowner just got $100,000. They paid off their credit cards, paid off their existing HELOC, remodeled their kitchen, and saved over $1,500 per month. And it gets better, folks. There's no hard credit pull up front, usually no appraisal, no long drawn-out bank process. And listen, no closing costs. You may even be able to skip your next 2 house payments. Call Loan Pronto now. Leave your low-rate mortgage intact, but still get the cash that you need in as little as 2 weeks without paying closing costs. LoanPronto.com. See how much you can get now. 919-381-1760. That's 919-381-1760. Or visit LoanPronto.com. Equal housing lender. NMLS 1661781 for qualified homeowners. NMLSConsumerAccess.org. The starting 5 next.
Move your sports day forward.
Championships are rare, and you'll always remember June 14th, 2026, when rare became reality for you and the Carolina Hurricanes. Remember the feeling when the clock hit 0 and you high-fived the person next to you. The feeling, multiply it by 1,000,000. That's the collective I told you so from Caniac Nation to every non-believer.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
It's bow time. Ordering Bojangles Bow Bites is the easiest choice you'll make today. The bite-sized hand-breaded chicken is fried to crispy perfection, making it perfect for sharing, snacking, or when you're on the go. Just don't call it a nugget. The only hard part is choosing from our 6 dipping sauces. We've got a sauce for every kind of craving, from our creamy house-made ranch to our sweet and spicy peach honey pepper sauce. It all depends on what kind of mood you're in. Head to your nearest Bojangles today and discover the dippable, shareable, and craveable Bow Bites. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to head on over to Bojangles to try Bojangles' new Bow Bites. Bite-sized hand-breaded chicken fried to crispy perfection. On the go, they're perfect for snacking or sharing. Dipped in your favorite sauce like creamy house-made ranch or peach honey pepper, they're the perfect way to satisfy your craving for flavor and value. Try Bojangles' new Bow Bites. It's an easy choice to make when it's bow time.
If you're exhausted, not just tired, but worn down, this message is for you. I'm Brandon Giggling, president of Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Across North Carolina, many people wait months, sometimes over a year, just to start sleep care. That wait isn't normal, and it isn't necessary. At Parkway, most patients are seen within weeks, with virtual consultations and home sleep studies that remove unnecessary delays. Sleep care shouldn't have to depend on how long you're willing to wait.
Parkway Sleep, your fastest path to better sleep. Start today at parkwaysleep.com. Sound sleep, sound health.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Eagle Leasing Storage Studio. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Canes light the lamp here.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Kat Campbell. Believe it or not, it is only getting hotter from here. Tonight, 76 for the low. We're up to 102 Friday and 103 degrees on July 4th for Saturday. Each day features a small 20% chance of an evening storm.
5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones closes the day up 594 points to 52,900.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting 5.
We're almost to the holiday weekend. We are almost there, folks. By the way, it's 5 o'clock here on a Thursday. I know a lot of people are off tomorrow, so congratulations, folks. A lot of you have already made it to the holiday weekend. Be safe heading out wherever you are. If you're driving down, if you're heading out I-40, down to Wrightsville Beach, maybe you're at Emerald Isle, maybe you're heading out to the Outer Banks, whatever it might be. If you're heading out to the beaches, stay safe. If you're heading out to the western part of the state, heading out to the mountains, which, by the way, it's still going to be hot out there too. But be safe. Be patient out there on the road. Enjoy this holiday weekend. Happy 4th of July to everyone out there. Celebrate 250 in a fun and safe manner. But again, enjoy yourself. Have fun. But there's still things to discuss in the sports world, Max. Dennis Cox sitting in for Tim Donnelly. Max Scoren producing the show. It's the starting 5. Let's start off with number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Now Hudson out in front, shot gets through. Andersen makes a save and gets across and robs Josh Andersen.
Nikishin may have gotten a piece too.
And then Mr. Andersen with another save.
The starting 5 is brought to you by Baker Home Exteriors. Baker Home Exteriors, we do good work at a profit if we can, at a loss if we must, but always good work. That's the Baker name, Baker Home Exteriors. You heard the highlight there, Frederik Andersen making saves. Frederik Andersen will be making saves for the Edmonton Oilers this upcoming season. signed a 1-year deal, base salary $1 million with $1.8 million in incentives built in. He can make an extra $600,000 if he plays 10 games. He can make an extra $400,000 if he plays 20 games this upcoming season. And then if the Edmonton Oilers advance in the playoffs, and if he plays a certain percentage of games in the playoffs each round, he can potentially earn $200K each round. So potentially $800,000 in the playoffs built in as well. But Frederik Andersen, no longer a Carolina Hurricane. He's officially an Edmonton Oiler, as Edmonton, let's be honest, the thing that held them back the couple years they made it to the Cup final against the Florida Panthers is that they had inconsistent goaltending. Not saying Frederik Andersen is going to be like the showstopper for Edmonton up there, but if he's paired with the right partner, goaltending partner up there, he's someone that can definitely give him some quality starts. I mean, he just won 13 games here in the postseason. His name's on the cup. So congrats to Freddie Andersen. I had the feeling like this was going to be his last run in Carolina this season, the 1-year contract that he signed last offseason. Happy for Freddie. Happy for Freddie. Maybe we'll meet him in the Cup final. I would actually love to see that because it means the Canes are back in the Cup final. So Frederik Andersen signs with the Edmonton Oilers. He's no longer a Carolina Hurricane. Big love for Freddie Andersen. Big love for Freddie Andersen. That's number 5. Let's get to number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4 all together. What?
Yeah, what? Max, I think that was my exact reaction yesterday when we got off air. You popped in and said, Jaylen Brown just got traded to the Sixers. I went, wait, what? Jaylen Brown got traded from the Boston Celtics to the Philadelphia 76ers for Paul George, a couple of first-round picks, and a couple of second-round picks. Like, props to Philly. You offloaded Paul George, who's constantly hurt. And now you have, along with VJ Edgecombe, one of your top young players, Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid if he's actually healthy, which is half the time. But then you also have Jaylen Brown into the mix as well. Like, props to Philadelphia. Like, props to Philly for making that move. I don't know what Boston's doing. I understand when the Boston Celtics were offering Jaylen Brown and some first-round picks to the Milwaukee Bucks to get Giannis Antetokounmpo before Giannis was eventually traded to the Miami Heat. I get that from Boston's perspective. Hey, trying to get Giannis Antetokounmpo for Jaylen Brown and some picks. All right, I wouldn't hate that if I'm Boston. But then why are you still shopping him? Okay, you didn't get Giannis. Okay. Just hold on to the guy. Max, this trade did not make sense to me from a Boston standpoint. From a Sixers standpoint, I love it.
Oh, yeah.
Love it if I'm Philadelphia.
Makes Philly one of the favorites in the East for sure, and it makes them more appealing, too, as a potential LeBron destination. They're reaching out, expressing interest in him. I mean, if I was LeBron and I wanted one more chance to win and wouldn't want all the pressure on me to score, shoot, I got Tyrese Maxey there. I've got Edgecombe and Embiid. Wouldn't be the worst place in the world for that. But Boston, I guess just the relationship between the front office and Jaylen Brown got untenable, and they had to take whatever they could get. Now, I'm a bit surprised that the best they could get was a couple of picks and Paul George at age 36 or however old he is now. But, definitely an underwhelming return for a guy who won Finals MVP 2 years ago and was second-team All-NBA and sixth in MVP voting this past year.
Was he part of Jaylen Brown? Well, he was part of Team USA, wasn't he?
He was not. That was a whole big thing.
That's right. He wasn't part of Team USA. That's right, because Jason Tatum was on there, and Jason Tatum didn't even play in every single game. I was thinking about Tatum. Never mind. But anyway, Jaylen Brown's a damn good basketball player. He really is. Now, Paul George is a good basketball. Don't get me wrong, but the guy's just constantly injured. You can't trust that. I don't get it from Boston's perspective. But LeBron's not going to the Sixers, Max. He's going to the Hornets. LeBron's going to the Hornets, Max. He's not going to the Sixers. He's going to Charlotte.
They need that veteran ball handler. They
do. He's going to the Hornets. Gosh, if LeBron ended up in Philly. Ooh. That could be a deadly starting five if they're all healthy. Again, we're talking Joel Embiid in here. Not the guy most known for showing up to work. Different conversation, though. But nonetheless, Jaylen Brown, whom, by the way, I saw plenty of Hornets fans being, after they traded LaMelo Ball, hey, it's all right because we're going to go get Jaylen Brown. You weren't. Hornets were never get like.
They could have offered a better trade than what Boston got.
Who would you have offered? What would you have offered?
Could have given them
Brandon Miller.
No, you're not trading Miller or Khan at this point because then that would show okay, they have no plan.
Yeah.
But the plan is to build around those two. So it would be like, it would admittedly be more tertiary pieces in terms of actual roster players, like Grant Williams, who's been in Boston before.
Yeah.
They'd probably try to get rid of Trey Mann. There's no spot for him. And it would really be more centered around picks. They would definitely have given, I feel, probably more picks and also better picks than the ones that Boston got from Philadelphia. But what do I know? Maybe they weren't offering all of that.
They should have used those 2033 unprotected picks that they had. Use those for those sixth graders. All right, that's number 4 here in the starting five. Let's get to number 3.
Shot clock down to 7. Simpson around the screen. Fires to Kniffel. 3 on the way. It's gone. Kniffel makes it a 4-point game.
So the NBA Summer League is starting up here very soon. Most of the games are played out in Las Vegas. I know there's a couple locations where things are taking place, but mostly it's out in Las Vegas. But the NBA Summer League is actually exploring with a rule that's already taking place in the G League. So for most of the game, we'll get to the caveat here in just a little bit. So for example, when a free throw is being taken by a player, let's say they get fouled on the shot doesn't go in. Traditionally, you go to the line to shoot 2, right? Let's say you're going in for a layup, you get fouled, ball doesn't go in. All right, at the line to shoot 2 is max scoring. Okay? Now, in the Summer League, what they're going to do is that you're just going to take 1 free throw. But that 1 free throw will be worth those 2 points. Or let's say you're fouled on a 3-point shot. Shot doesn't go in. You're fouled on a 3-point shot. As opposed to taking 3 free throws, you're still just going to take 1 free throw, but that 1 free throw is now going to be worth 3 points. Now, if you have an and-1 situation, you go for a layup, you get fouled, get the hoop in the harm, as they like to say, that 1 free throw you would get for 1 shot, that 1 free throw would count 1. So it's a way to speed up the flow of game, so you have less free throw attempts that are being made, but the point values would vary depending on the situation. Now, they'll revert back to traditional rules the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter and in overtime, which I'm like, okay, I kind of get that. But at the same time, Max, why are free throw rules different for the entire game except the last 2 minutes of the game? Like, to me, I'm like, keep it consistent throughout.
I think it's maybe more to appease to traditionalists who will oppose this change, which I'm sure there will be some. But honestly, like if you think about it in terms of like a 1-to-1 comparison, like if you got fouled shooting a layup, that shot was worth 2 points. Now you've been presented with another shot that's worth 2 points.
Yeah.
You got fouled shooting a 3-pointer, you missed. That shot was worth 3 points. Now you've been presented with an easier shot that's still worth 3 points. So actually, to me, it honestly kind of makes a little bit more sense than the way it works, at least for shooting fouls. Now, obviously, when you get into the bonus and everything, that's a different story. But I also like how it just speeds up the game in general and also adds a little bit of leverage to every free throw. So I'm a fan of this rule proposal. I would just, if you could, keep it the same all the way through. But I guess when it's like those super big moment free throws, I guess that they're keeping it traditional just so like every single point has to be earned or something along those lines.
I also think as well is that there might be a little bit of the, okay, let's say I got fouled, we're down 3. and I need to like miss the free throw intentionally, try and get the ball back because we need a 3-pointer or something along those lines. So I can see maybe that being the justification for it in those situations, maybe because there is that tactic that's built into the game where like, okay, we need to miss the free throw because we need to get the rebound to try and get another shot back up, that type deal. So maybe that's a little bit of a factor into it, possibly, but yeah. So anyway, I'm curious again. It's for Summer League. These games have very little stakes to them outside of like individual players are trying to, earn a contract and a position with the team. So there's nothing really at stake in these games in that regard.
Other than the Hornets trying to go back-to-back Summer League champs.
Exactly. We got to recruit LeBron. That's the whole thing.
Send him to Summer League in Las Vegas.
Send him to Summer League in Vegas.
He was there. He was watching his son. I went for a Hornets game in Vegas last year during Summer League, and he was there supporting Bronny, who was playing for the Lakers Summer League team. But he's been around there, and at that time of year, maybe if he wants to dust off the shoes and get a little off-season work in, recruit him to the roster.
Exactly. Get him to the roster. So anyway, it's just I'm intrigued to see how it works out. I'm intrigued to see how it will be received by both players, teams, and just again, we'll see what game flow and all that kind of stuff is like. That's number 3 on the starting 5. Let's get to number 2.
Just the two of us. Flicks it along Tillman. He's got Balogun making a run off him. Can he get around to that ball? To the deflection, Balogun scores! Flo Balogun, first to react to the deflection. He'll do the LeBron celebration.
Flo Balogun made it 1-0, Team USA. Christian Pulisic got on the board, but then was taken off due to offsides. Then Malik Tillman, while the United States is down a player, they played down a player for about 35 minutes yesterday. Drops a beautiful free kick in and make it 2-0. And San Francisco Bay Area Stadium, air quotes there, Levi Stadium out there in Santa Clara, California, but where the 49ers play. Place was going nuts. Max, they were singing Country Roads. Max, we should be playing Country Roads right now to celebrate this United States 2-0 win. We should be celebrating the way that they did yesterday after the game. It was such a fun scene to see the U.S. men's national team just walking around the stadium, and they're playing Country Roads, good old John Denver, and the entire stadium is just singing along. And you could actually see the players themselves and the staff, like everyone was singing along to this yesterday. I was sitting at home. My fiance and I were enjoying this win. And I'm like, they're playing Country Roads. And it was like, country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home, country roads. And I was loving it. Loving it. So much fun. Max, you keep that music playing. You keep that music playing, Max, because we're celebrating this 2-0 win. I know there's the red card to Flo Balogun, which was crap. It was crap.
Terrible decision. Terrible.
Won a game in the knockouts. We're on to Belgium.
I think it's only the second time ever they've won a knockout stage game.
And we're loving it. Take me home to the place. Crank this music, Max. I belong, West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home, country roads. The entire stadium was singing it, and it was amazing. I was singing it. Max, I know you were too. Don't you deny it. Don't you deny it. You were singing along too.
I may have been playing a game of NHL 24, if you can believe it, not 26, against my buddy immediately after the conclusion of the game. But that's neither here nor there.
You need to sing it now, Max.
Take me home.
Yes, let's go. To the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home.
country roads.
2-0 U.S. wins last night. 2-0, baby. We're on to Belgium.
Let's sing this thing all the way to... I actually don't know where the quarterfinal game would be.
Doesn't matter.
The next game's in Seattle, though, on Monday night. Monday Night Football in Seattle.
Monday Night Football in Seattle, baby. Let's go. So much fun. There was such an electric atmosphere to watch. I had a buddy of mine that was there at the game, and I'll read the text, Max, that I sent you. Or I sent to him. I said, play country bleeping roads. And he said, dude, it was absolutely epic. He was there in the stands. Never had so much FOMO in my life.
Home World Cup knockout stage win would be absolutely electric.
So much fun. Now, real quick, Flo Balogun was issued a red card after a video assisted review after a foul, which was crap. Should have been given a yellow card. 100% will say that. But a red card, egregious in my mind. Herculez Gomez, formerly of the U.S. national team, ESPN soccer analyst. Flo Balogun, because he got the red card, straight red, not only was dismissed from the rest of the game yesterday with about 30-ish minutes left, also has to sit out the game against Belgium. It comes with an automatic one-game suspension. Herculez Gomez, thoughts on the Balogun red card?
It is devastating, and it could tilt the series in Belgium's way. This is a pick-em in Vegas terms, this Belgium versus the U.S. men's national team without a Folarin Balogun. He was the X-factor for the U.S. men's national team. Landon Donovan had a World Cup where he scored 3 goals. Before that, you got to go to 1930 to find another forward with 3 or more goals. Folarin Balogun had the ability in this World Cup to battle the world's greatest forwards for the Golden Boot. Now, I'm not trying to get crazier. This is realistic. The way the U.S. men's national team is playing, the way Folarin Balogun is playing, he had the ability to climb the goal-scoring charts. Now, the U.S. men's national team will face a very talented Belgium team without one of their best players.
Yeah, it stinks. It stinks that he's not going to play. But guess what? We have seen this United States team have to battle through some adversity. They're going to have to battle through it again against Belgium. But they can definitely get it done. That's number 2. Let's get to number 1. Number 1 in the starting 5. The latest here regarding the Carolina Hurricanes in the NHL. Max, you know what's happened today in the NHL?
Ovechkin's back.
Okay, Alex Ovechkin is going to be back with the Washington Capitals.
Jake Middleton got traded for Blake Coleman. Blockbuster.
Boom. That's it. That's all that's happened today. Literally, Max just gave you a rundown of what's happened in the NHL today. Okay, Jakob Dobish signed an extension with the Montreal Canadiens. It doesn't kick in until next offseason. Cool.
There is a small update from Pierre LeBrun. This was as of about 12 minutes ago.
Go on.
Saying Carolina kept trying right to the end last night on John Carlson. Philadelphia tried very hard yesterday as well, but Tampa is a really good fit, ended up being the destination.
Okay. So there you go. John Carlson ended up signing with the Tampa Bay Lightning, 2-year contract, $8.5 million per year. Lots of conversations, all that good stuff. Carolina kept trying to the very end to get Carlson. Okay, Carlson decided to sign with Tampa. Okay, cool, fine, whatever. Doesn't really change anything for me for Carolina. You still have Alexander Nikishin. All 14 of your forwards from last year's Cup team are back on your roster. You still have your top 6 defensemen under control, including Alexander Nikishin. You have Brandon Bussey and Pyotr Kochetkov as your 2 goaltenders right now. Carolina doesn't really have to do anything. They don't got to blow it up, try and start fresh or any of that. They don't have to do that. Now, do they want to make their team better? Yeah, absolutely, as you should. But they ain't got to get crazy with it. I am curious to see what they do with some of their other guys that are in the last year of their contracts. Shane Gostisbehere, Jalen Chatfield, Jordan Stahl, Jordan Martinook. I'm curious to see what happens with those guys in terms of do they sign contract extensions with the team? Because that will impact other potential moves that they can make or will make. It's a fun time. It's a fun time. But nothing's happening. If something happens here in the next 35 minutes or so, Max, we'll definitely break that for you guys. But otherwise, in the NHL, it's been crickets today. It's been absolute crickets in the NHL today. Even some of the top guys, like top guys, quotes, like Anthony Mantha's still out there. Patrick Kane is still floating around out there. Claude Giroux is still floating around out there. So, like, there's some decent named guys that are out there, but nothing's really happening. But some of the big stuff we anticipated, Jason Robertson, still a Dallas Star. Zach Werenski, still a Columbus Blue Jacket. Winnipeg Jets still have Connor Hellebuck as their goaltender. So some of these quote-unquote big things that people were expecting to happen hasn't happened yet, including Alexander Nikisha for the Carolina Hurricanes, the defenseman. He's still a Cane. That's the starting five, brought to you by Baker Home Exteriors. The Baker family has roofed the Carolinas since 1915. Baker Home Exteriors, roofing, siding, windows, and doors. Always good work. BakerHomeExteriors.com. We will need a couple of contestants. One last numbers game this week. We will need a couple of contestants, but first, Dennis Cox here real quick for my friends over at Law Tigers. One of the things that you can do for yourself as a motorcycle rider, I know during these hot days, I'm not really going on motorcycle rides. It's just too darn hot out there. But you need to make sure that you are taking care of your bike, even while your bike sits idle, whether it's in the garage or in the driveway. Still do all the things that you can to make sure that your motorcycle is in proper working order. Do you need to have fuel additives to your gas tank? Do you need to make sure that you have a full gas tank if your bike's going to be sitting for too long? Maybe you just have to sit there and let it run idle for a little while just to make sure that the engine doesn't sit for too long without being run. All these things that you can do to make sure that your bike is in proper working order, so when the weather does cool down and you get back on the bike, that you can trust that your bike is going to be working properly. All little things that you can do. Now, if you are out there on the roads and you're injured in a motorcycle accident, make sure you contact Law Tigers at 1-800-LAW-TIGERS before you get in touch with the insurance company. Insurance companies, they want to give you the least amount possible. Whereas Law Tigers, they're there to fight for you. They understand what your bike is worth, what your gear is worth, but also they understand the dangers of the road. That's why your case evaluation is always free, and you don't pay a dime until your case settles. So give them a call, 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, or visit lawtigers.com. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm. The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Dennis Cox in for Tim Donnelly this afternoon. Max scoring, producing the show. Max, one last numbers game this week. We need two contestants. Call 919-860-5FAN. 919-860-5326 for your chance to compete in the numbers game and win a pair of tickets to see Neo and Akon at Coastal Credit Union Music Park on Friday, July 10th. That's Friday next week. We need two contestants. 919-860-5326. Call in. We need two contestants for the numbers game. 919-860-5326. A pair of tickets to see Neo and Akon at Coastal Credit Union Music Park on July 10th is the prize that's on the line. Numbers game next.
Adam.
I'm Adam Gold, and I'm there.
Tim.
I'm Tim Donnelly, and I'm there.
Dennis.
I'm Dennis Cox, and I'm there.
Victoria.
I'm Victoria Bodenecker, and I'm there.
Paul.
I'm Paul Eihander, and I'm there too.
You'll find them all here on the brand new 99.9 The Fan app. To work, to school, the beach, the mountains, the arena, take The Fan with you wherever you go. Available for Apple iPhone and Android phones. Download the 99.9 The Fan app today.
You could argue that making jewelry by hand is yesterday's way of doing it. You could claim that being particular about custom design and old-world craftsmanship slows down the process. You could call us old-fashioned, and you'd be right. Because the heart and soul of Bailey's is our workshop, where skilled craftsmen create heirlooms meant to last for generations. Come see why we've been voted the best jeweler year after year. Bailey's Fine Jewelry. Every woman wants a Bailey box.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
See if you're a winner every night. Watch live lottery drawings on WRAL TV's 11 o'clock news. That's right. Carolina Pick 3, Carolina Pick 4, and Carolina Cash 5 numbers every night on WRAL TV's 11 o'clock news. See if you're a winner before you go off to bed. Get your lottery numbers live every night.
North Carolina Education Lottery.
Only on WRAL TV's 11 o'clock news.
It is time to play the numbers game. The prize at stake: a pair of tickets to see Neo and Akon at Coastal Credit Union Music Park on Friday, July 10th. We have two contestants on the line. We have Jeremy in Apex, and we have Graham in Raleigh. We need to determine who goes first here in the numbers game. We got to ask the same question we do as we have this entire week. First, let's bring on Jeremy in Apex. Jeremy, I believe you're trying to run it back after yesterday's offer.
That's correct.
Okay, Jeremy. Yesterday you gave us hot dog as your answer. The question that we asked, if you're having a cookout, 4th of July, having a cookout, what's the number one thing that's on your grill? Now,
let's change it up.
Jeremy, you'd say hot dogs yesterday. So you can't use that answer today. Can't use that answer today. What's the number one thing on your grill that's not a hot dog?
I'm going to go with an Italian sausage.
Okay. All right. Max, do you have any questions here? Max has no questions. Okay. Jeremy, stay on the line. Jeremy and Apex, stay on the line. We have Graham in Raleigh. Graham, are you there?
I am.
All right, Graham, same question. You're having a cookout, okay? 4th of July weekend, you're having a cookout. What's the number one thing on your grill? Same rule applies to you that would do with Jeremy. That's not a hot dog. Not a hot dog.
Not a hot dog. I'd have to go with some venison cheddar wursts. Yeah, we have them every 4th of July. They're delicious.
Venison cheddar wurst. Okay. All right. Max, do you have any questions?
So is that like a bratwurst that's like infused with cheddar, Graham? Or just elaborate.
Yeah, it's a bratwurst. It's deer sausage with some cheddar infused in it. It's delicious. Great.
That sounds good.
That sounds amazing. Not gonna lie. That sounds fantastic. All right, Max, you have Jeremy in Apex. He says he's going the Italian sausage. Okay. We have Graham in Raleigh with the venison cheddar bratwurst. What say you?
God, I feel bad doing Jeremy dirty twice in a row, but those cheddar wursts sound really, really good.
They sound amazing.
So I'm going to have to give the nod to Graham. I'm sorry, Jeremy.
Hey, you know what? That's the game, though. That's the game. All right, so Jeremy, you stay on the line, okay? Jeremy, stay on the line, so we have Graham and Raleigh. So, Graham, you're going to go first. Now, our tiebreaker, if we do have a tie, is whomever goes first, okay? Now, both players are going to have a chance to play. Graham, here are your options for categories. I'm going to read them off to you. You have NFL, all-time Carolina Panthers. You have Major League Baseball, 30-30 club members. So these are guys that have 30 home runs and 30 stolen bases in the single season. We also have NBA players who played in the 2026 playoffs and Hurricanes throughout history. Graham, what say you?
Let's go with Canes. Let's do the Hurricanes.
Okay, going with Canes. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to have 30 seconds on the clock. I'm going to say the name of the player. I'm still going to say the team, even though we know the team here because of the category. I'm still going to say the team. I'm going to say the name of the player, going to say the team. You have to give us the jersey number that corresponds with that player. You do have 30 seconds on the clock. You do have one pass Any questions, Graham, before we get started?
No, I'm ready. Let's do it.
Okay, he's ready to go. Time starts. Will you hear the horn? Logan Stankoven, Carolina Hurricanes.
22.
Correct. Jesperi Kotkaniemi, Carolina Hurricanes.
82.
Correct. Joe Corvo, Carolina Hurricanes.
37.
Incorrect. Adam Burt, Carolina Hurricanes.
Pass.
Kevin Haller, Carolina Hurricanes.
20.
Incorrect. Joe Corvo, Carolina Hurricanes.
21.
Incorrect. Adam Burt, Carolina Hurricanes.
5.
Incorrect. Kevin Haller, Carolina Hurricanes.
5.
Correct. Beat the buzzer on that one. So you got Logan Stankoven. So you got 3. You got Logan Stankoven, 22. You got Jesperi Kotkaniemi, 82. Joe Corvo, I know you said 37 initially. He wore 77. So you had the 7 there at least. Adam Burt for the Carolina Hurricanes wore number 6. You said 5 on your last guess for him, which was the smart thing to guess number 5 again for Kevin Haller for the Carolina Hurricanes, who wore number 5. Now, were you just firing darts there, Graham?
I was. After you got past Stankoven and Kotkaniemi, I was lost.
See? You never know. You might find you might find the target if you're firing darts. So, Graham, that's 3. You're the leader in the clubhouse. Stay on the line. We got to go to Jeremy and Apex. Jeremy and Apex, are you there?
Yes, I am.
All right, Jeremy. Chance for redemption here, sir. Your 3 categories to choose from. The remaining categories are NFL all-time Carolina Panthers. You have Major League Baseball 30-30 club members, or NBA players who played in the 2026 playoffs.
Let's go with the Panthers.
Going with the Panthers. All right, 30 seconds on the clock. We know the team. I'm still going to say the team name anyway. Give you the player, say the team. You give us the jersey number. 30 seconds on the clock. You have to beat 3. All right, so you got to get 4 or more. 30 seconds on the clock. Jeremy, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, time starts when you hear the horn. Jake Delhomme, Carolina Panthers.
17.
Correct. Jonathan Brooks, Carolina Panthers.
30.
Incorrect. Tommy Tremble, Carolina Panthers.
17.
Incorrect. Jonathan Brooks, Carolina Panthers.
32.
Incorrect. Tommy Tremble, Carolina Panthers.
Pass.
John Casey, Carolina Panthers.
4.
Correct. Chris Gamble, Carolina Panthers.
15.
Incorrect. Jonathan Brooks, Carolina Panthers.
54.
Incorrect. Tommy Tremble, Carolina Panthers.
22.
Incorrect. Got Jake Delhomme, number 17. John Casey, you got number correct, number 4, former kicker. Chris Gamble wore number 20 for the Carolina Panthers, former defensive back. Jonathan Brooks, the running back for the Carolina Panthers. He hasn't played much because of injuries the last couple of years, but he wears number 24. And Tommy Tremble, the tight end, wears number 82. So you only got 2 there, Jeremy. My apologies, but unfortunately you came up short just again today.
It's all good.
I know the 2 would have won you yesterday.
Yep. I blanked yesterday, and, I didn't get my category today, but it's all good. I enjoy playing.
It's all good. Jeremy, enjoy your weekend. Stay safe. Have a fun 4th of July. And by the way, call in, try again next week. Like when Monday rolls around, try again. Keep trying. Just because you fail doesn't mean you can't try again. Our winner is Graham. Graham, congratulations, sir. You're the winner of the numbers game.
Thank you.
By the way, where do you get these venison cheddar bratwursts? Like, where do you get these? Do you make them yourself? Like, I want to know, where do you get these? Because I want them.
We've got, my family has a longtime family friend that has a cabin up in Oxford, North Carolina.
Yeah.
They shoot a bunch of deer up there, and they make it themselves. So I have no idea where, or I guess they make it themselves. So Oxford, North Carolina.
Okay, so you know a guy that knows a guy. Okay, I respect this. All right.
I do.
Because I'm with Max. That sounds amazing. Because venison is fantastic. Cheddar, also great. This might need to get your information here, Graham, because I need to get some of these. I need to find a way to get at least, a couple of them, just so I can try them.
You got to try it at least once.
I know. It sounds amazing. All right, Graham, stay on the line. Max got to get your information here for you to send you on to the holiday weekend. Get your information that way you can get your prize to you. Congratulations for winning the numbers game, sir.
Thank you.
Max, that sounds amazing. Venison cheddar brats?
Yeah, sounds quite good.
That sounds fantastic. If anyone out there has venison cheddar brats that they would love, I'll buy them off you. At the Fan Rookie, hit me up. At the Fan Rookie. I want to try them. Because that sounds amazing. Absolutely fantastic. Venison is delicious as is. But venison cheddar brats? I need this. I absolutely need this. The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Dennis Cox sitting in for Tim Donnelly this afternoon. Max Gorin is producing the show today. We have one final segment here coming up, but real quick before we get into the holiday weekend, we're going to make picks for the holiday weekend. It's the last show before the holiday. Just want to remind everyone out there just to be safe, be patient when you're out there on the road. I know a lot of people are heading down to the coast. A lot of people head to Wrightsville Beach, Shenward Isle, Atlantic Beach, that whole area. Some people maybe head out to the Outer Banks. Be patient out there. You know there's going to be a lot of cars out there. Make sure you got plenty of gas in the tank, plenty of water to drink. Stay safe. If you're sticking around here in the Triangle, enjoy it. Have fun. We know the heat's going to be here. It's going to test a lot of us. Just be safe. Wake up a little bit early to walk the dogs or wait a little bit later in the day to take them out, those kinds of things. Just I want everyone to be safe because when Monday rolls around, when Tim Donnelly's back here, and hopefully might be talking about a Carolina Hurricanes, maybe a potential move that they make, something along those lines, that we want everyone that is listening right now to be tuning back in on Monday as well. Be safe with the fireworks. Have fun. I'm not here to ruin anyone's fun. That's not what I'm trying to do. I just want everyone to make sure that when Monday rolls around, that everyone is still good. That's what I want to have happen. So just stay safe when you're out there on the road. Stay safe when you're out there enjoying the pool or whatever it might be. That's my PSA for this hour. The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Dennis Cox again sitting in for Tim Donnelly this afternoon. We do have to make some picks. There are still plenty of sporting events that are taking place this weekend. We got World Cup matches. Got some baseball games. There's a hot dog eating contest. By the way, Joey Chestnut, friend of this show. Max got to eat food with Joey Chestnut. Like that in myself is like a bucket list item that I didn't know was on my bucket list.
It's an all-time moment.
It was. I got to eat food with Joey Chestnut.
Yeah, that was at the Final Four, right?
It was. Now, it was this like shrimp with this really spicy cocktail sauce that, let's just say, cleared the nasal.
It was from St. Elmo's, right?
It was. It was from St. Elmo's Steakhouse. It cleaned the sinuses. And as what I've been still lingering for what I was dealing with last week, I could probably use that sauce right now. But we got to make picks next.
Tim Donnelly here for Kalshi, reminding you that the world's biggest soccer tournament is going on, and you can trade on every single match, all the way to the final on Kalshi. Obviously, last night there was a big United States game. We're going to be invested in that, if you're like me, to a certain extent, regardless of your trading position. But the rest of the games, the other ones, the ones going on today, remember, on Kalshi, you're trading against teams and players and peers, more importantly, in a live market, meaning there's no house. And as the probability changes, you can buy in and out of your position. For a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use code TIMD to get $10 when you trade 10. Kalshi, Kalshi, trade on anything. 18 plus only. Restriction and eligibility requirements apply. Event contract trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Prices, values, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. For more information, see Kalshi.com/regulatory. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
All the corner kicks, all the heart-stopping action, and all the soccer. Listen to 99.9 The Fan and Buzz Sports through July 19th as we bring you full coverage of soccer's biggest event. We'll have match updates, results, and news right through the championship and the awarding of the Golden Trophy. Our coverage of soccer's biggest event is presented by North Carolina Courage and Wake Orthopedics, your winning team for orthopedic care.
For a lot of workplaces, the work week doesn't end on Friday. That's why there's EasyCater, the best way to order food from favorite restaurants for your hardworking team, even on weekends. With EasyCater, you'll find great options for any group size and any shift, with tools to help meet dietary needs, stay on budget, and simplify expenses, all backed by our award-winning 24/7 support. EasyCater, your Monday through Sunday workplace food platform. Start an order for your weekend crew at easycater.com.
Hey man, been to Sharky's lately?
Yeah, man, I was there last night with you.
Oh, yeah. The wings and the burgers are killer. They have so many beers it's hard to choose, you know?
I know. You know, they got trivia on Tuesdays and luck of the draw darts on Sunday, man. I love them both.
Yeah, I love that place, man.
You know what, man? I think Sharky's may be the best bar in the world.
Yeah, I think you're right, man. Let's go grab a beer.
Sharky's at the corner of Delta Lake Drive and Durham Road. Open 7 days a week.
Happy 4th of July, everyone out there. By the way, no show tomorrow. No show. We're celebrating the holiday, so no show tomorrow. Obviously, 4th of July this coming Saturday. Enjoy the weekend. Max, you have anything planned for the weekend? Anything planned?
I'm just planning on going back home, Winston-Salem, for a few days. Hang out with the family, a couple of my friends back home.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong. Because it's so damn hot, my fiance and I were actually we're gonna go catch a couple movies and stuff this weekend. Go to the theater, catch up on some stuff, you know, that kind of deal. So that's what we're going to do this weekend. I think actually what I might do is because again, I enjoy cooking out. I enjoy having a cookout. I enjoy, popping open the Blackstone and cooking. I might have to do like not New Year's, but 4th of July cookout, like breakfast, because it's so hot this weekend. Might have to do bacon and eggs as the cookout. That actually could be a lot of fun. Have you used a cookout before, Max? Or have you used a Blackstone before, Max?
I've been there as people were using them before. Yeah. I personally have not cooked on one, but I've consumed like tailgate food off of a Blackstone before.
I'm not gonna lie, I love it. I love the Blackstone. Actually, it was about a month or so ago. My parents were in town. My aunt was in town as well. It was actually for my niece's birthday. So this is about a little over a month ago. And they all came over to where my fiance and I live and to our house. And I cooked breakfast on the Blackstone, cooked a bunch of bacon on it, and then did French toast all on the Blackstone. Literally like 30 pieces of French toast at one time on the Blackstone. And it was awesome. It was a fun time. But anyway, I hope everyone enjoys their holiday weekend. Have some fun. Have a nice, relaxing time. And also enjoy the sports, Max. And because it's the last show of the week, we got to make picks for the holiday weekend. All right, Max, let's make some picks here as we close out the holiday.
So there's a lot of events going on this weekend, a lot of places we can start, but I figured there's no better place to start than the hot dog eating contest.
Oh, of course.
On July 4th, Coney Island. I think it's on Coney Island. The Nathan's Famous hot dog eating contest. As you may imagine, the odds are skewed towards one particular participant, and that would be Joey Chestnut, who is the favorite, who's the record holder for most hot dogs, eating them in, I believe it's 10 minutes. It might be 8 minutes. But,
I think it's 10, yeah.
What do you think Joey Chestnut's odds are to win the hot dog eating contest?
His odds
to win
it?
This is on FanDuel. They have betting lines on
Okay,
this.
so the actual betting line, minus 3,000?
You're actually not too far off.
Okay.
He's minus 2,500 to
Okay,
win.
I'm in the ballpark.
The next closest participant, Patrick Bertoletti, he is plus 1,000. So I won't ask you to pick a winner because I think we would all obviously pick Joey Chestnut. Well, they do have over-unders
now this
for the hot
I'm
dogs
interested
eaten.
in.
So Joey Chestnut's over-under is 69.3.
Nice.
I don't know why it's 0.3, but that's a...
do you get credit for half a hot dog?
0.5. I don't know, maybe if you just get the bun or something.
Maybe, I see. If you get credit for half a hot dog.
So 69.3 is his over-under. His record is 76. Are you going over-under on 69.3 hot dogs for Joey Chestnut on Saturday?
I mean, I'm hammering the over on the 69.3. Hammering the over. He's getting 72. He's getting 72 on Saturday. I know his record's 76. He's getting 72 on Saturday. He's a friend of the program. Joey Chestnut, 72 hot dogs. Calling it right now.
250th anniversary of America. I think he's going for the record.
Maybe he gets 76. Maybe
It'd
actually
be fitting
does
to
get
tie it.
76.
Maybe he gets over the hump to 77. Who knows?
I think 76 actually does. I'm changing my pick, Max. I'm still hammering the over, but we're going right to 1776 itself. 76 hot dogs, Joey Chestnut.
It would be awesome to see.
Be awesome.
In the women's hot dog eating contest, there's also a heavy favorite in that one as well.
Okay.
Miki Sudo is minus 1,500. So
okay.
They're not expecting a lot of competition in the hot dog eating contest this year. So maybe not good for the competitive balance of the competitive eating game, but should be good to see the stars shine and eat a bunch of hot dogs on July 4th. Like, what else can you ask for?
Okay. I'll take her. Is there an over-under for her?
Yeah, it's 40.3. Her record, she holds the record as well. It is 51.
Oh, 51? The over-under is at 40.3?
Yes.
Give me the over. Give me the over. She'll be at 46.
To break the record, plus 700 as well. I can't believe there are odds on all of these.
Why not?
It's just, I guess you can wager on anything these days.
She has 46 hot dogs eaten this weekend. 46. So I'm taking the over.
Looking for strong performances from Miki Sudo and Joey Chestnut on Saturday at Coney Island. We'll shift to some, I don't want to say real sports. I don't want to disparage the hot dog eaters, but more traditional sports.
Yeah.
World Cup action continuing today in the knockout stage. Portugal is taking on Croatia at 7 o'clock. Portugal favored to advance minus 290. Croatia trying to recapture some of the magic from their 2018 run where they pushed it all the way to the final but fell to France. Who do you got, Portugal or Croatia?
Give me Portugal to win this one. I believe on the 90-minute line, it's minus 145, somewhere around that line for Portugal. The over-under's at 2.5. Give me the under on this one. Give me under 2.5. This feels like 1-0. This feels like a 1-0 type game. But I'll take Portugal to advance.
Yeah, I think they get through as well. So this is up at that Iberian Peninsula matchup we were talking about earlier.
That's right.
Between them and Spain. All right, and then the last game of tonight's action in the World Cup, it's Switzerland taking on Algeria at 11 o'clock. Switzerland favored in this one, minus 105 on the three-way money line, and then to advance, they are minus 230. I'm actually going to go with Algeria in this one. I like Riyad Mahrez's chances to make an impact. He's a former Man City guy, so I'm well familiar with his resume as a player. But who do you have between Switzerland and Algeria?
Give me Algeria in the upset on the 90-minute line at plus 340. I'll take Algeria in the upset here. I'll take it. Why not? Let's get weird with it. I'll take Algeria over Switzerland.
Nice. And we'll go across the pond now, despite the fact that it is July 4th this weekend. There's some tennis going on in London at Wimbledon. There's already been some kind of exciting matches throughout the first week. We actually just saw Serena Williams make her return to singles tennis on Tuesday. She went down in the first round to Maya Joint, but pushed it to a third set, so it was somewhat entertaining. There's a good amount of Americans still in the tournament, though. Taylor Fritz is playing tomorrow against Lorenzo Sonego. He's a big favorite in that one at minus 820. There's some upset potential in terms of Marcus Giron versus Alexander Zverev, the number 2 player in the world. Giron is a plus 1060 underdog in that one.
Give me Giron, plus 1060.
That's the big
Let's
upset.
go.
We also have Francis Tiafoe, another great American player. He's facing Alexander Bublik. That one's a little bit closer to a pick'em. Tiafoe minus 137. Bublik is plus 114. I'm gonna go with the American though. I think Tiafoe wins that one. I think Fritz makes a deep run. He's done well on grass courts as well. And we'll see some American representation here at Wimbledon as they continue to represent in the Grand Slam stage.
I'll take those.
We'll go to some weekend action for the World Cup.
All right.
Argentina's facing Cape Verde on Friday at 6 o'clock. Cape Verde, huge underdog. Messi and Argentina minus 1,800 to advance.
Yeah, I'll take
that game.
I'll take that.
I think Cape Verde makes it a little bit more of a struggle than you'd expect, but I do think Argentina wins that one in 90 minutes. Australia versus Egypt, that's the first game tomorrow. Pretty close line on that one. Odds to advance, Australia plus 120, Egypt minus 146.
Give me Egypt actually on the 90-minute line, plus 150 to win that one.
I'm going to take Australia to get that one done. Okay. I'm going to add in the caveat. I think it's going to go extra time or penalties. Obviously, could be both. So we'll see. But the Socceroos, I think they get stuck in their defensive structure and hold on there.
We have Colombia versus Ghana tomorrow.
Yes,
as
that
well.
is the cap tomorrow. Ghana, big underdog. Colombia, minus 650 to advance. I'll go with Colombia there.
Give me Ghana in the upset, plus 750.
Ooh.
Give it to me.
One more pick for you. This is not a game.
Okay.
Predict a Carolina Hurricanes offseason move to come this weekend with 30 seconds here.
None. That's my prediction. None. Actually, I'll give a prediction. Jaylen Chatfield contract extension. That's my prediction of what happens this weekend. That's it. It's the only thing I have. Otherwise, nothing. The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Dennis Cox in for Tim Donnelly this afternoon. Overdrive coming up, including a conversation about the Canes didn't get John Carlson. So what's next for them on defense?
Move your sports day forward.
Championships are rare, and you'll always remember June 14th, 2026, when rare became reality for you and the Carolina Hurricanes. Remember the feeling when the clock hit 0 and you high-fived the person next to you. The feeling, multiply it by 1,000,000. That's the collective I told you so from Caniac Nation to every non-believer.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9.